Howdy, 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 ladies and gentlemen, boys and ghouls. Welcome to I don't know what you want to call this. Fucking Three Buck Theater Live, Hollywood. I don't even know. Is this Hollywood After Dark? I have so got to figure out my branding, I swear. I am terrible. I am like the worst person on the planet when it comes to like being consistent over things I like. I'm like, I have this excellent idea for something and I'll do it for like 3 weeks. And then I'll be like, well, something else came up. And then I just end up going off and doing something else for a while. But it's still in the back of my mind. I have way too much going on. In fact, today I had a lot going on. It's not entertainment related. I think I'm done working for the United States Census. I think I'm done now. Unless they have some like cleanup work for me to do, like some final cases. Today was kind of my last big push. Today was the last big thing that I had to do. And it was crazy because, it was like nothing really like wild happened. It was just like another day, but it was just a long one. It was just a long day going to people's houses, knocking on doors with my Ninja Turtle mask and my clipboard and going like, hi, my name is Matthew. I'm from the United States Census. Can I ask you some questions? Because I've learned that if you, no, I don't do that, but I talk to people. It's fun. And then I had some, I don't know how to say it. And I guess I'll just say it. My grandfather passed away this afternoon. I found out. And I went down there last week to go see him and say goodbye. But I just found out today that he passed away. So that's been on my mind. Thanks. It's like, it's hard. That's why I was just like, I've posted about it on Facebook and then I just saw that like my cousin, liked it. I'm like, because we were talking about it last week because I saw her after I went and said goodbye. So
yeah.
It's just tough.
It's kind of weird, that like you like it, but like, it's like, wait a minute. Yeah. Did you like it?
Yeah, it's like, it was on Facebook.
No.
It's the heart emoji. It's the heart emoji on Facebook.
Yes. You need multiple on Twitter.
Yeah,
well.
they need like
like it.
They really do need that on Twitter. I can't talk about. I didn't post about it on Twitter because I didn't really feel like posting about it on there. Twitter's a shit show. I am at the point now. I fucking hate Twitter, dude.
I don't use Twitter other than like I'll post something and I'll just like people's tweets and retweet and all that. And that's it. I don't get into any arguments. I don't care, about any of that shit. Because, again, their opinions don't matter to me. And if my opinions matter to you, that's great. But if not, that's also great.
Well, I don't mind getting into fights with people, but I've been preferring to do it like on a live stream, which is really funny because I used to avoid it. And now I'm kind of like, it's fun. And I ask myself, I'm like, uh-oh. Like what's brought this on? Is it the antidepressants? Who knows? But I found out today, and this is 100% true. Apparently, Alex Jones's son, Rex Jones, who is 17 years old, apparently wants to debate me.
Wow.
I don't know about what.
Yeah, no, that was my question.
I don't know about what. Is it going to be about Fortnite or Yu-Gi-Oh cards? I have no idea.
Magic the Gathering.
Yeah, like you want to talk about I haven't played Magic in 20 years. I literally haven't played Magic since before you were gleaming your daddy's nutsack. Like I haven't done anything like that. So I don't know what he's going to want to talk about. But he's been on with these people who don't like me and they were talking about me last night. So I think that's what it is. And I'm just like, he's a bit of a meme kid. And I'm like, dude, Dick, you're 17. I'm 38. I'm like 21 years older than you.
Yeah.
What would our conversation
at that age, they
even
think they know everything. So
yeah, but look who his dad is. He obviously thinks he knows everything. Like I guess he was bragging last night. He's like, yeah, I have lots of sex. And it's like weird flex, but okay. Like you're 17. You're 17 years old. You're underage. You're a minor, and you're talking about this, and you're like. With people who legitimately were going against the movie Cuties, like it was the second coming of pedophilia. You know what I mean? Like the people that were rallying against this movie hardcore. And he was just openly bragging like, yeah, I'm underage, but I'm getting tons of plays.
That's weird.
This is why
I'm not a supporter of that movie. I've seen, the scene I saw, I'd be appalled if my daughter was in it. And I'm just appalled that other people took their daughters to be a part of that and said, choreographer, make my daughter do this.
Like, I really want you to do that zoom shot right there. Cause it really exemplifies it. It's like, I saw that clip and I was like, no, I'm good.
Yeah. And then Zod said he watched it and he was like, it's it's what you guys thought it was.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so I was like, okay, great. I was going to watch it anyway, but the little clip that I saw, I was like, man, I mean, you could do that whole thing and like, maybe do some cutaway shots, make it to where it's like, you can sort of allude to certain things, but you don't have to, say, okay, ladies or girls, let's start rubbing your crotch.
Yeah, I
It's
mean,
like
I get the point of the film, what they were really talking about. Like, see, but
Yeah.
I viewed it
They
as
said that
being,
they had a good message,
yeah, like the message was also how it talked about,
but the message gets lost when they try
yeah.
to go this
Well-
other way and try to make it risque.
Oh, you want to
And-
know what's really messed up though? Is I was on IMDb last night and I'm looking for like what's popular,
Mhm.
and it's like number 3 on
Oh, I'm
the
sure.
popular,
I'm
but
sure.
but it's the poster they use is not the one that Netflix put out. Thank God. Like, what the fuck was that? Like, holy shit. Like, oh my God, what are you doing, Netflix? But it's like the original poster where it shows them all like dancing on a bridge or whatever. And it just goes by its original title, Mignon, whatever it is. Or
Minions, little minions.
Yeah, Minions. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Honestly, that could be more entertaining than the Minions movie. I hated the Minions movie. It was so bad.
Yeah.
But they, I mean, like they put that. And so at first
They're
I
all
saw,
voiced by the same guy.
it doesn't
right?
surprise me.
The guy that he voiced something in Star Wars too, didn't he? I forget his name. Pretty big, comedic actor. He was in one of my favorite movies, Tropic Thunder. He was the assistant to
Wait,
Tom
Bill
Cruise's
Hader?
character. Bill Hader, yes.
Bill
He's the one
Hader
that
voices
voiced
the Minions? What?
Minions, yeah.
I don't know about that. I would have heard that one. Let's see here.
Check it out.
Bill Hader. All right, I'm looking right now.
Bill
Because
Hader
I'm
Minions.
a huge Bill Hader fan. So let's see here. I'm not seeing the Minions. He was Alpha 5 in Power Rangers.
Let me see.
He was
IMDb, Bill Hader. Hold up.
yeah, I'm looking up right now. I
Where
think
is
Christopher Melanandre did the voices of the
Okay, maybe it was in the other one where they were with Gru, because I know he was in that.
Okay, let's see here. Hold on. Minions. That movie was bad, by the way. Minions was bad. And then they got Minions 2 coming, and it's like, why? Why? And then they keep hiring the same guy, Brian Lynch. They keep hiring Brian Lynch to write these movies. And it's like he did Secret Life of Pets 1 and Secret Life of Pets 2. I can't stand Secret Life of Pets.
I'm not a fan. Not a fan.
Let's see. Oh, Pierre Coffin did the Minions.
Okay, and who did it for Despicable Me?
He has done all of them.
He did. Oh, okay. Okay, then damn.
Yeah, he also directed Despicable Me 2 and 3.
Oh, okay.
And he directed all of the movies. And it looks like maybe I'm wrong. Maybe he didn't. No, he played them. Yeah, he played the Minions. Yeah. Yeah, he voiced all the Minions.
Voice.
He did Tim the Minion, Bob the Minion, Mark the Minion. But I will say this though, as much as I hated Despicable Me, and I did, I hate it. That movie is so bad. I love the sequel.
He did BB-8.
No, Bill Hader did BB-8.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm looking up now.
Yeah,
I remember he was. Maybe I just got him confused.
He was. He was BB-8 in the first in the Force Awakens, but he wasn't back as BB-8 in either the Rise of Skywalker or the Last Jedi, which makes no sense to me. I mean, you can't tell. You just
he saw the direction that they were headed, so he's like, I don't want to be a part of that.
No, I think what it was is that JJ just never called him. Right. Like I was listening to the audio commentary of 10 Cloverfield Lane the other night. And like, how you've seen that movie, right?
I have.
So how like Bradley Cooper.
Is that the one with John Goodman?
Yeah. In the bunker.
Yes.
Yeah. It's a good movie. It's a really good movie. But in that movie, when she got the phone call in the very beginning from her ex-boyfriend and it was Bradley Cooper, obviously.
Yeah.
So J.J. Abrams talked about how we got Bradley Cooper in the movie. He's like, I just texted him and I asked him and we were texting about it back and forth. And then Bradley literally just pulled out his phone, recorded his dialogue into his phone. What you heard in the movie was him just at his house, recording it into his phone. And then he sent it to JJ via text message.
Nice.
That was how they got the audio of Bradley Cooper in the movie.
Very authentic.
Like very authentic and very much like he probably did it for like, I don't know, like, all right, man, hold on here. What are the lines? Okay, done. See you later, JJ. I'm going to go off and voice Rocket Raccoon and make a lot more money. So I think there's a lot of that goes on with these movies, and that's why I love the audio commentaries, because you
Mhm.
get those little like side stories of maybe how someone got involved. Like the funniest one, it's not a major movie, but there's this movie called Sierra Nevada Gunfight that a bunch of people I know worked on, and they
Okay.
shot it in East County, San Diego, back in 2012, and they got Michael Madsen to be in the movie. And so Michael Madsen is one of those actors, him and Eric Roberts, that will literally
Yeah.
be in whatever you pay them to be in. They
Yeah,
do
well,
not
yeah,
care.
yeah. Eric Roberts was, I mean, okay, not as horrible as like Nick Cage or Samuel Jackson being in every freaking movie that you could, ever come up with. But yeah, no, Eric Roberts. There was a time when he was just like in every
Oh yeah.
movie.
Well, and it's funny because
I was roughly around the time when he was in that Sharon Stone movie with Sylvester Stallone.
what
Um,
the specialist?
yeah, he was in the
Wow,
specialist.
I remember James Woods was the bad guy in that one, but I forgot about Eric Roberts. I mean, the last thing I remember seeing Eric Roberts in was like The Dark Knight.
Oh yeah, he was in
Yeah, he's
that. Yeah,
like I'm watching The Dark Knight. Like, it's fucking Eric Roberts. What's going on with this? But so no, anyway, so they got Michael Madsen to be in this movie, and I found out that how they got him in the movie was like he agreed to do it for like 9 grand.
Oh wow.
Right? He agreed to be, I think it was like 3 days on set for 9 grand. That's what the deal was. But
Mhm.
his request was that they brought the money to his house in a brown paper bag in cash. And that's how they got him in the movie. And then he was even a day late to being on the movie because he had like family court or something.
Oh wow.
Because I knew the camera department and everything, and actually one of the guys was my roommate at the time, so I heard all these stories. And then a few months later, I was going to the American film market in Santa Monica,
Mhm.
and I got to talking with a buyer, and the guy was just like, he's like, yeah, there are two people out there that you really avoid their movies, and I'm like, who? He's like, Eric Roberts and Michael Madsen. Then I'm like, why? Is it because they'll do anything? And he's all like, yeah, they'll be in literally everything. And as he says it, we're in this shuttle and they're showing trailers from some of the movies that are there for sale. And lo and behold, a fucking Michael Madsen movie trailer pops up.
Yeah.
Now, it would have been great. It would have been perfect if it was Michael Madsen and Eric
Yeah.
Roberts in the
Right.
same movie. That would have been just epic, epic
Well,
timing.
I think that was sort of like the mentality of Sam Jackson, was that he was just like, don't say no to anything. That's why he was in like Snakes on a Plane and
Yeah, but
whatever.
see, Snakes on the Plane's a good movie, though.
I've never watched it.
You've never? Oh
thought
my
that,
God, dude.
Black Snake Moan was
Okay,
another one. I
that's a
saw that.
fantastic movie too. No, those
And,
are both fantastic.
yeah.
Like so I first heard about Snakes on a Plane a full year before it was officially announced. One of my buddies does prop work. He does animatronic work in LA.
Okay.
And so we're hanging out at Comic-Con. And I'm like, hey, what's up? Dude, like, what have you been working on lately? And he just goes like, he's like, I just got done doing this movie. You will not believe what it is. And I was like, what's that? He's like, it's called Snakes on a Plane. And I'm like, what the hell is it about? He's like, it's Samuel Jackson. It's a federal agent escorting a witness from Hawaii to the States, and somebody puts all these poisonous snakes on a plane. And I looked at him and I'm like, you are absolutely fucking with me right now. He's like, no, I'm serious. I designed a lot of the animatronic snakes, a lot of the prop snakes, and I was on set for like the entire movie.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, there's no way this is real. He's like, no, it's real. You'll see it in a little bit. And lo and behold, about a year passes and we get the first trailer for Snakes on a Plane. And
I'm tired of these motherfucking snakes on this motherfucking plane.
it's that the thing is, the movie knows exactly what it is.
Yeah.
It knows
Kind of like Sharknado, right?
yeah. Well, oh, dude, this is way better than Sharknado. Like this is like it's got Rachel Blankard in it. She was in like Are You Afraid of the Dark, and she was Cher in the TV version of Clueless. It's got Keenan Thompson in it. It's got Taylor Kitsch, fucking John Carter. He ends up getting killed in the movie, but like he's got
Wasn't he supposed to be like a clone of Johnny Depp? Isn't that what they
I think so.
No, it was him, because wasn't he also in Scream?
No, that was you're thinking of Matthew Lillard or Skeet Ulrich.
Skeet Ulrich, yes.
And he
Skeet
just recently
Ulrich
passed away,
he
unfortunately.
did. Oh, okay. No, I didn't hear about that.
Yeah, he passed away a few months ago. Oh no,
Matthew
I'm
Lillard.
sorry. I was thinking of Luke Wilson, because they're both on Riverdale. Real quick, Lark reacts $5 super chat. Thank you very much, sir. Says, what do you think of Eddie Got Fingered? I think you mean Freddie Got Fingered.
Freddie got fingered.
I personally did not like it. But then again, I only saw it when it came out nearly 20 years ago. I've only seen it one time. But I've never gone back to it in my mind and thought this is something I want to see again. Like Tom Green, in just the opening credits of that movie, because he's basically doing the Tom Green show in the opening credits of that movie, and he like he hits a deer, and then
Mhm.
he ends up wearing like the pelt of the deer, running around covered in
He
blood.
is such a weird
Oh
character.
no, he goes by his stud farm and he sees a
Yeah,
horse with a boner, and he runs over and he says, "Yeah, I'm grabbing the horse's wiener." He starts shaking the horse's dick,
yeah.
like not giving him a hand job or nothing, but like just doing. And I'm like, what? Now I will say, Rip Torn in the movie was really funny because Rip Torn in anything is funny.
He is a very well established actor. In his younger days, I don't think he did as much comedy in his younger days as he does now. Like when he was in what was that Dodgeball?
Oh yeah,
He was
well
fantastic.
he
in
was
Dodgeball.
real saucy when he got older. You know,
Yeah,
it's like I mean, but the fact that he said like if you can dodge a wrench, you can dodge a
yeah.
ball, and here it is, literally like I think it's like 13 years later, and we're still quoting it
Yes. No, I
as
mean
just being really
that's
funny.
another classic movie right there. That's awesome.
I always
It's like Jason Bateman at the end. It was on the ESPN 8 the Ocho.
Oh yeah, yeah. God, Gary Cole and Jason Bateman. Ooh, that's a bold move, Cotton. Let's see how that plays out. That is
Right?
but that's quite frankly one of my favorite gifts. That's one of my favorite gifts because it's the only time in cinematic history where you've got a line like that you know exactly like the joke, and also the when Vince Vaughn says like "Thank you, Chuck Norris," and then Chuck Norris goes, "No, thank you, Peter."
Yeah.
I don't know why that movie never got a sequel, to be honest with you.
I don't think they were into sequels. Like, how many?
This is Hollywood. They're always into sequels.
Right. But how many Ben Stiller movies can you think of that actually have like? I mean,
Zoolander?
I'm sorry, what?
Zoolander?
No, okay, Zoolander's very rare. And that one wasn't that good. The second one.
No, God, no.
The
I
first one
love
was
Zoolander, but
fantastic. Um,
I did not like the second
But
one.
I mean, what was the other one? I mean, he directed Cable Guy. That was a
Yeah,
fantastic movie.
that was
He directed, or no, he starred in a lot really good. I mean, Along Came Polly was good, and
Philip Seymour Hoffman sharding. That was pretty funny.
Brick.
Why do you have a camera crew following you around? Oh, they're part of an
Who was
True
in the
Hollywood
camera
story.
crew? Oh, it was Hart. Kevin Hart was in his camera crew.
Oh, really? I haven't
Yes.
seen it. I know it came out in 2004.
He was either the cameraman or he was the audio
Okay.
the audio kid.
I still remember the cameo appearance that Ron Jeremy had in 1994's The Chase with Charlie Sheen and Christy Swanson.
Oh my god, I don't remember that movie at all. I remember the cover box.
Yeah, no, that movie has so many goddamn cameos. Even like Anthony Kiedis and Flea show up. Like Red Hot Chili Peppers show up as a cameo in that one too.
Yeah,
Like it's one of those bonkers 90s films where like the half the
it
end
was
credits
interesting, because Flea showed up in Back to the Future, and I was like, "Where's Kiedis?" No,
Yeah.
no, he wasn't in the back of the truck. No,
Yeah, I know.
gonna say-
Flea showed up in Back
Yeah.
to the Future Part 2. He was the boss.
Yeah, he was the boss, and then at the end in Back to the Future 3, he was young, and he had the truck, and he was the one that was going to race Marty, and which caused the wreck with the
Yeah.
Rolls Royce.
Yeah.
So that was
That was cool
awesome.
seeing Flea back then. And you don't see
Yeah.
much of Flea since then, unfortunately. Like,
yeah,
I've always loved Flea.
I no, he was also in that other movie with it was the Big Lebowski.
Oh, right. He was one of the
Yeah.
nihilists. But I mean, like he was good as one of the nihilists, but really
Yeah.
Peter Stormare, like sold that role, in my opinion. Like coming off of Fargo to go do the Big Lebowski with the Coens was
Yeah.
just such a plus it has he has
had a good run too. For
yeah,
for a
plus he
short
has that
period.
excellent line of just like, we are nihilists, we care about nothing. So where's the money, Lebowski? It was that movie so a long time ago they were doing a special midnight screening of that movie, and I took my girlfriend to go see it. She had never seen the film, and that maybe was like the worst place to take someone who has never seen the movie at all.
Yeah.
Because if they're gonna try to get into it, like clearly people are gonna be making jokes all the way through. And so this guy behind us was so drunk, he was literally quoting the entire movie line for line, which is not funny.
Yeah.
Like it's funny when you get to the part when John Goodman is pulling out the golf club and going after the car, Donnie's car, or not Donnie's car, for the name of the guy's car. But he just goes like, this is what happens when you find a stranger in the Alps. Like that.
What do you
That
call
make
it? Shaboot. He
yeah.
kept saying, I don't know. He kept saying Shabbat, but how did he say it?
Yeah, he kept
Fuck
screwing it
that.
up. It's like,
Yeah,
Walter, you're not married anymore. You can't just turn off your faith.
yeah.
Like, do you know they did a? Do you know they did a kind of? They're
Shabbat.
doing
He called it Shabbat.
Shabbat. That's right. Yeah, I need to watch that movie again. As like now that I'm older and understand a lot
Yeah.
more than I did. But that was such a weird, wild movie for the time. Hold on. L Rack, $2 more super chat. Thank you very much. Saying Meet the Parents and Meet the Fockers were good. That is true.
Little
I
Fockers wasn't as good as those
no,
two.
Little
Those
Fockers
two were
wasn't.
great. I
Yeah.
loved when he met the what's his name from Tootsie,
Dustin Hoffman.
Dustin Hoffman, and then what Bet was it Bette Midler?
Barbara Streisand.
Barbara Streisand. I get them confused. Yes,
That's
no,
a very
they
weird
played,
thing to get confused. But
yeah, no, I
okay.
know. Well, Bette Midler, Barbara Streisand. I don't know. For some reason, I was getting them confused. Not sure why, but yeah, no, that was the perfect family dynamic for Ben Stiller. Oh God, that was hilarious.
I still love the line. I have nipples, Greg. Can you milk me? Like, and then what I loved about that time period was like if Ben Stiller was doing a movie, Owen Wilson wasn't that far away.
Sure.
And,
I mean,
even in Cable Guy,
Hutch.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
even go back to '96 with Cable Guy
because he was the date.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and Leslie
Jim Carrey beat up.
Yeah, and then Leslie Mann actually met Judd Apatow while working on that movie, and then they got married because Apatow was a producer.
Okay.
And I didn't know that Stiller directed it, but it wasn't until then it got funnier when I realized that because when he played the Menendez brothers.
Yes, the brothers. Sweet brother. Wait, what was it? It was a brother, sweet brother, or
something like that.
It was the Stan Sweet story or something.
Yeah, it was
like I don't know, but I think he was Asian.
I still think the Cable Guy. It did derail Jim Carrey's career a little bit, but I think after 24 years,
it was a little dark. But the one that really did derail Carrey's career was the number 23.
See, I thought people generally liked that movie.
It was just
I've never seen it.
Off-putting. Oh, it was kind of like, I mean, he was sort of, I don't want to say conspiracy theorist, but I mean, he was just sort of, very not schizophrenic, but just paranoid, very paranoid, and it just kind of like grew from there. And but it was his first movie that I think that he played something just straight. It wasn't there was no comedic aspect to it at all. And I think after that, and then now he's fucking nuts. But I think that was sort of like when he just kind of went off the rail, because I mean he was such a huge star. That, I mean, even him being in like, Batman, I mean, that was like a big thing back then. But I mean, he played it so campy because, that's what the studio
Which is
wanted.
funny because Joel Schumacher also did the number 23. So
Joel Schumacher did A Time to Kill, which was a fantastic movie.
And Lost Boys and Falling Down. So it's like everyone likes to go look at Schumacher and just go, yeah, but like Batman and Robin. Like, yeah, okay, he did that.
Yeah.
And I mean, he was clearly trying.
That's why they're talking about the Schumacher cut, though, right?
Yeah,
because they say that it's supposed to be darker and a little bit more serious. Of course, it has Val Kilmer with a big fucking bat, but I mean, it's supposed to be a little bit more serious, I guess, or more, kind of more in the line.
Look, I love Batman Forever. I do. I'm unapologetic in my love of that movie. I do. I always have.
You can even defend Chris O'Donnell coming in and sort of showing off to Alfred how he does his laundry and
yeah, like the
that was
movie.
Such a corny scene. It was so stupid.
It was nowhere near as stupid as Coolio in fucking Batman and Robin. I mean, my God, that whole
Coolio in that?
Coolio was when they go to like, it was like that racing thing underground or whatever. Like, was that
yes,
he was like the MC there.
They were gonna have the motorcycles go off the bridge.
Yeah. That was Coolio. So I was like, all right, like I mean, I
The
grew up
only
in the
other thing I thought
'90s, so
Coolio in was like Dangerous Minds.
no, he wasn't even in Dangerous Minds. He just did the song.
Yeah, he did the song. That's right. Well,
And
he was in the music video.
well, yeah, but like that's not the movie, you know. But then it was like, oh, Coolio pops up in a few things, and you're like, oh man. And then it's like, where's Coolio been for 20 years?
Yeah, right.
Living off that Gangster's Paradise money is what's going on with that one.
Pretty much.
What cracks me up the most though is like when I think about the Batman Forever, like it's like I want to see the Schumacher cut, but to me that movie's also like 25 years old.
Mhm.
Like I'm good with it being where it's at.
But I mean, it was 20 years, and then we got the Donner cut. So
Yeah.
I mean, we got to see kind of what Donner wanted to do before the Salkinds booted him and got Lester in.
Yeah, I know, and I did enjoy the Donner cut quite a bit.
Yeah.
I actually saw it when I was I went to, I think it was like Stan Lee's PopCon or something in LA,
Mhm.
and they had a screening of the Donner cut.
Oh,
And
nice.
I went to it with my friend, and 'cause I actually hadn't seen it at that point. And then afterward, Margot Kidder and a few other
Yeah.
people came out and did a Q&A.
Now you call her Margot Kidder, and then but I always thought it was Margot. Margot
No,
Kidder.
no. It's Margot.
So
It
it's
is
like
Margot.
Margot, just like Margot Robbie.
Yeah. It's Margot. It's
I was like,
but Gal Gadot is like, again, that's that's
Yeah.
I love people are like, oh, it's Gal Gadot. It's like, no, but the T
No,
is there.
yeah, it's
Like in
it's,
our language, the T isn't there, but in her language, it's there. And she's never corrected anyone. Like she doesn't, she lets it just
well, she
slide.
actually has it online. She says it a couple times.
Yeah.
So
Well,
if you look on YouTube, she does say it. It's straight.
I don't, she could say anything to me. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like literally anything. She could like, I don't know. She could be like the worst political take on the planet. I'd be like, I'm fine.
Yeah.
Like I don't care. Just,
I completely agree. So,
I mean,
man,
you know,
and her movie's coming out on VOD. I'm sure they say December, but I'm sure her. Movie's
they're not
coming
gonna
out on
not. The
VOD.
thing is, I think Black Widow and Wonder Woman are far too important to drop to VOD. Tenet should have waited too. Tenet should have waited. Nolan.
It wasn't that big of a film to draw people out.
It wasn't. Nolan movies are like it's not like, okay, look at like
they're very good and highly acclaimed, but they're very
yeah.
they're just not that blockbuster movie that everybody's like clamoring to see.
Well, the Dark Knight Rises was because of the Dark Knight, and that one's I mean, if I recall, like even Batman Begins, it didn't pull in, like it pulled in under 400 million. The Dark Knight pulled in a lot more, but the Dark Knight Rises cleared $1 billion. And so it was building
the worst of the franchise.
I know. It's like I've seen it one time. I've never gone back to it. It's been 8 years, and I don't regret anything.
Your name is Robin, but
Yeah.
that's your real name.
Yeah, I just
Like,
like
what?
What got me, I didn't mind that so much because I get the cleverness
I
of
did
it.
because Nolan said he would never put Robin in his film, and I was like, oh, you fucking went against your own fucking word, dude.
Oh, that was probably a studio interference thing, sort of like that.
Probably.
Because there was a lot there at the time, if I recall, there was a lot of hype surrounding Joseph Gordon-Levitt, and there was a lot of like, oh yeah, we need to like get him in. We need to like get him in. We need to make him a star. There was a lot of push to make him a star because he was in Looper also that year.
He did a good job in Looper.
And Looper was
actually.
I didn't like it, but like
I liked it. I thought it was very imaginative. And I liked the prosthetic.
They made him look like the effects were good, but I mean, can you answer me this? Was there any real need for telekinesis? It was a MacGuffin. The telekinesis was absolutely a MacGuffin. It made no sense, and it was so underutilized. It was like that's the thing with like Ryan Johnson is he likes to build these worlds and then doesn't necessarily fill them with everything that needs to be there, with the exception of Knives Out. I really enjoyed Knives Out.
I thought it was very predictable. I knew the old lady saw. I didn't know that they went up the dam or came down the house the exact same way. No, they went up the house. I thought that was kind of stupid, but I did know that the old lady saw the killer as well as her, and I was like, okay, it just kind of fleshed it out a little bit more. And then that stupid scene in the washateria. I don't know. I didn't.
That scene was a little bit
underwhelmed.
weird, but I will say in that particular scene, what I liked was in the trailer, it made you think she was dead. And then they were actually able to bring her back. And that was that was a nice little clever twist, because in a lot of these movies, again, it's all very predictable about who dies and how they die. It's one of the things I love about Hot Fuzz. Hot Fuzz is the complete antithesis to every action movie ever made. And it holds itself to that, and it completes it in a just fantastic, magnificent ways. Like, I just love the fact that it's like my favorite thing about that movie is the actual plot of the bad guys. So in most movies you would think, oh, they're killing everyone because they are actually wanting to expand the city. They're wanting to they're going to make it look like someone's killing off these people who want to keep it safe or whatever, but they really just want to sell it off and make money. But in this one, it's like, no, we're killing them because we want to keep the town isolated. So it's a little bit different. And then like whenever they do the shootout stuff, it has all the tropes of all the action movies, even John Woo, and then no one dies. Did you ever notice that? No one died.
No.
Yeah, like every time the old people get shot, they get shot like in the hand or like the arm or the leg.
Okay.
No one, even the bad guy, even Timothy Dalton doesn't die. He just takes the cathedral tip through the mouth.
I like Timothy Dalton best in The Rocketeer.
It's been a long time since I've seen The Rocketeer. So it's on Disney. It's on Disney Plus, right? It's on
I'm
Disney
sure
Plus
it
now.
is. It's a Disney film, yes.
Yeah, it's got to be. That was a movie that I remember really, really, really wanting to see at the time. Hey, what's going on, man?
Hey, what's up? Hello, Ryan.
Hey, how you doing?
I'm doing great. I just want to join the stream and have fun.
Yeah, we're just hanging out. I'm going to be on with Nicotina in about an hour and a half. We're doing the midnight run. Yeah, I was gonna go live at 11 and just do an hour lead in, and then Max is like, "No, go live now." Like, you bastard.
I thought he was gonna join too. I was like, because he was like really being forceful. I was like, "Go live now." I was like, "Okay, I guess you need him to go live."
Yeah, he was. I think he's like, I have people watching me. I need to put that over on the other thing. I mean, I get it. Max is a good dude. I still have no idea what the hell his stream was about, to be honest with you. I have no idea what his stream was about. It was, I guess I tuned because I got in like an hour and a half late.
Yeah.
So I was all like, what's going on here? Oh, because I saw Louis Licca in the thumbnail and I'm just like, what the fuck? Like, what Louis?
I saw that. Did y'all talk about that at all?
Yes, I was at the beginning. They did talk about Luz and how he was trying to spin the whole. There was no actual cut of the film.
Oh my goodness!
Why are they stuck on that?
The movie's coming out. Just be okay with it.
Like, I don't get it.
Listen, he tried to spin it like the same way. There is no the Batman cut, the Matt Reeves one that is currently filming. There was no Zack Snyder cut. That was his talking points, trying to spin why there was no actual Snyder cut. To say
there was a cut of the film, it just wasn't completed. But it was a
and
watchable cut.
He knows
that he had to show. He had to show Warner Media this cut. And they said, because we saw this cut, we are going to put X amount of dollars behind it because we believe in it.
That's not necessarily true. He didn't show them a cut. He put together a presentation.
Yeah, well, right. No,
so he put I get what you're saying, but it's like, because it's like, again, I've been supporting this since I first heard about it and everything, and I've never thought to myself, he's got a completed cut. Now, did I want that to be a thing, like coming off of Batman v Superman in the Ultimate Edition, where it was finished and they just chopped it to hell and back? Like, yeah, I kind of thought that. Like when we got when the Blu-ray came out of Justice League, and it had one deleted scene and like no audio commentary, had nothing on the Blu-ray. I was like, oh, okay, wow, they really did just kind of let this thing go. And then now we're finding out all this other stuff's going to be coming. We don't know what it is yet, but we've seen a bit and it's awesome. And I don't know why people are so heavily like, it's like they want to disprove what is right in front of them. It's like the joke I made. I forget who I made it to when it comes to this. It's almost like we proved God exists in this particular situation, right? In this analogy. Because everyone's always like, no, doesn't exist. And we're like, the true believers, taketh me to the hilltop, Zack Snydereth. And then it's like, show me the way, show me the light. And then people are like, you're full of shit. You're just a liar. And then all of a sudden it just appears. And then everyone's like, nah, that didn't happen, man.
yeah, exactly. And the only thing that makes them look even more, I want to say just stupid is that they keep bringing it up. They keep saying, "Well, no, come back. Let me explain how I believe this wasn't actually the way it was, but actually is the way it is, because it's not really how you thought it was, because I found out that this way is the correct way, and you thought it was this other way, but I know the way that you don't know. So watch my video."
Yeah, hold on here.
you know,
Jay says Umberto Gonzalez is in the chat. If he's not, but that'd be pretty funny.
I just want to comment, and even Andy called Lewis's argument stupid, trying to compare Matt Reeves' Batman to Zack Snyder cut.
What? Like, I don't look. Oh my god, I don't get why there's such a big pushback on this. It's just, I mean, like, I have been full. I mean, I'm not a big fan of the Warner Media multiverse idea. I think it's stupid. I've been very vocal about that. I'm not against seeing it. There's a difference there, but I'm not going to sit there and make video after video about how this is stupid. I'm just going to go, okay, I don't care about it.
They're trying to move forward and not shift a whole bunch of things. Just like, I'm cool with them just making good stories.
Yeah.
Right. Because they're sort of off that track. Yeah, not Birds of Prey. They're sort of off that track. And instead of trying to figure out a way to get back on the track, they're just like, well, these things happen. Let's just move forward with new stories. And it doesn't really have to connect, but in some ways we can, kind of like, wink to the audience and say that, hey, these things did connect a little bit. But we're still going to make some really good movies, and we're still going to have all the correct players. It's just not going to match up exactly how everybody wants it to.
Yeah.
I mean, that's kind of there. They're in that position because, of circumstance, not because of bad writing.
Yeah. Well, what I think is happening is I think that they are going to cancel the Arrowverse. I think that's done.
Oh yeah.
I think Flash is going to be next, or Legends of Tomorrow is probably going to be next, and then
my
Flash.
bet is on Legends first. Then
I think the Flash will be the last to go.
Yeah, because that is, I think, the most popular at this point, because it is the most fun, to be fair. Black Lightning. I don't hear anyone talk about Black Lightning. No one, not one person.
The last thing I heard is that Black Lightning is going to film season 4 and 5 back to back, which I'm just speculating, but I think that after season 5, it's done.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, like, I do not see the Berlanti-verse or the Arrowverse going anywhere. I mean, the controversy with Batwoman.
Well, he's got a contract till 2024.
Oh, I mean, but he's also got, like, what, Riverdale, and he had Sabrina on Netflix.
And now he has Stargirl, and they're still developing the Green Lantern thing that they're going to put on the CW.
Yeah, just like I was just like we need to get to people need to realize that, like, the streaming is where it's at, like that. I just think that, like, look at Doom Patrol. Doom Patrol did good enough on season 2 to warrant a season 3. Harley Quinn is now finally. I don't get this. Why did they announce Harley Quinn season 3 a week after Fandom?
Yeah, it's kind of odd.
There was I think news that they want to lower the budget of Harley Quinn, which I don't understand. It's already a low budget animated show. Even Harley said it.
Yeah, but I love it. I love it so much. I love it. It is so good. It's like they should do more DC animated shows. I'm just saying, like, if you want to win over that crowd, like, drop the overly the lower budget Berlanti stuff, because that's getting, like, it worked like 10 years ago. Fine. Yeah. Now we're in a different world, and it's like people want to take these characters more seriously. And I think that, for one, getting rid of the standard 22 episode season model is the right plan. These shows become too bloated. It becomes monster of the week. I cannot get in. I would love to. Okay. X-Files handled this in the perfect way, by the way. When they released their home video sets, they started releasing them in collections. Did you guys ever see this? They would do they would do like UFOs. They would do like they did the Black Oil collection, which was like all the episodes all over the seasons that dealt with the Black Oil and that whole conspiracy with, like, the cigarette smoking man and everything else. Like, that was one of their bigger arcs. So they would take these arcs that were in the show that went seasons, and then they would put them together in these sets. So if you just wanted to get that specific arc, you could do it. And I'm like, that's actually really cool, because it gives the audience the ability to watch what they want to watch on that in that particular way without having to slog through all the rest. And a lot of these shows, they just run on these procedural monster of the weeks. It's like the same script over and over and over again. with a slight variation, and occasionally they touch upon something great. That's how I view it.
That's the problem with CW, man, is that like major problem with CW is they're good for like a season or two, and then they run out of ideas. And then, like you said, it's Monster of the Week, and then because it's a syndicated TV show, they're talking about their feelings in the hallways, and nobody really gives a shit. And then they have like the filler episodes that you can miss and not really worry about the overarching story for the season, and it's just like. And then they try to get you to care about all these crossover episodes where you have to watch all the different shows and hop back and forth and whatever. And it's like,
yeah, but
I did that the first year, but the second year I didn't, because I was like, that's too much of an effort.
I think people just wanted to watch like the cool shit in the Infinite Crisis on Infinite Earths crossover. Like I was in LA for Star Wars, and I was hanging out with at Louis Lecca's house. And he's like, "Oh, do you want to see the Kingdom Come Superman like Brandon Routh?" And I'm like, "You know what? Yeah, I would." Because I really look, I will fully admit, like I was wrong about Superman Returns in 2006. That movie, I love that movie. It just took me a couple years to get there.
I don't love the movie. I do love Brandon Routh.
I thought he's
the
deserved
best
another
thing
shot.
About that. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Kate Bosworth still
agree.
sucks. She still sucks.
Yeah,
but,
no.
Horrible casting. They should have gone with Kerry Russell. That was who he did. The scenes with. They should have kept her.
I don't know why. I don't know what was Kate Bosworth doing. I mean, the last movie she had done before then was like that Blue Crush movie from 2003.
Yeah, that's true.
I think no. Wait a minute. I think no. That was after Superman Returns. 21, the card game with Kevin Spacey as well.
Oh, 21. Yeah. That was with Kevin. Yeah.
That was a good movie. I mean, Kevin Spacey as Lex Luthor was good.
Counting Cards. Who else was in that? Who was the main kid?
Oh God, it was
Was he from?
I want to say who was in 21? I know Josh Gad was in it.
I don't remember Josh Gad in Superman Returns.
No. Cal Penn was in Superman Returns. I don't think he had one line of dialogue though.
I think he had more dialogue that they cut down, and they had what's her name, Parker Posey.
Yeah. Well, I liked her actually in that because I thought she did a good job as kind of playing the next.
Yeah, she reminded me of the girl, Miss Tessmacher.
Because it was like what really dawned on me was the scene where her car loses control.
And they did that one shot where he's holding the car. And it's like the front of the comics.
Yeah, and but like to me that solidified how much of a Donner movie this was. Yeah. And I remember at Comic-Con 2006, right after the release of Superman Returns, they had a panel for it. And they brought out Bryan Singer and Richard Donner, and they talked about it for an hour. And that was a really cool panel.
That was partly the reason why they did the Donner cut, so they could get they had to pay off the Brando estate, and in order to get his footage, they released it so they could pay him or pay their family. So they allowed for the Donner cut to exist and then make profit off of it so that they could pay the Brando estate.
Okay.
So, but yeah, that's kind of why I always knew that there was going to be a Snyder cut. I just thought it was going to be 20 years, like we were talking about with the Schumacher and all that.
Yeah. I thought they would have Zach would just eventually release it. He would just secretly tinker away at it for years and years and years, further drawing away from reality, losing his entire family, losing everything. Just he becomes who was the guy? Howard Hughes, right? In the clean room with really long fingernails and jars of his own piss. And he's just working on it. And then finally, before he dies, he just hits send on the internet, and it's it uploads it, and we get this 7-hour version of the movie, and it
makes no sense.
It's a lot of it's just a close up on Ben Affleck's ass.
It's just and a close up of Cavill's eyebrow and looking around, it's just something weird,
And then it's just a weird scene where he just hand drew Wonder Woman and Batman having sex. And it's just 3 frames over and over and over again. He's like, this would have been in the sequel.
Yeah.
this would have been this.
And they would have ended on the Jim Lee sketch.
Yeah, that would have been
where
yeah.
Flash is holding half a cyborg. And they're
That
like,
would've
why
been
did
funny.
you ruin the end of the movie?
I just like I mean I know like I get frustrated at all the Snyder Cut talk. I do, because I'm like, okay guys, we get it, you know, and it's on the pro side too. Like I know the anti side, they really piss me off, but the pro side, like my fucking timeline every goddamn day, I'm like, look, I follow these accounts, but I'm so ready to mute like 98% of them, because like literally every day is just nothing but like Henry Cavill gifs and you know, all this shit, and I'm just like, guys, come on, like there's more to life than this. And it's but at the same time it's so compelling that we still
right
talk
now
about
it's
it.
the only news that's kind of coming out, you know, like no one else is, I mean, talking about anything else really that's you know, in development that is worth a flip. So it's like, you know, what else can we talk about, right? I mean, we talked about Mulan. Movie sucked. You know, we talked about Tenet. I liked it.
I haven't seen Mulan yet, but I have Mulan. Like I have access to watch Mulan.
Yeah.
And I just sit there and I'm like, I saw the ending of the movie. I saw someone posted it on Twitter.
You saw the ending.
I saw the ending.
God.
And I was just
they're
like
on the beam.
Yeah, and she like kicks the arrow back.
Yes. No, that's not the only time she kicks arrows. She kicks arrows and spears through this whole damn thing.
Like, what is this, Crouching Tiger, Hidden? What the fuck?
So like at the very beginning of the movie, she's a little girl and she's running on this like 3-story, you know, complex, you know, kind of like a multi-dwelling unit, and she's chasing this this chicken, and the chicken somehow gets on the roof, and then so she falls and does these like somersaults and all kinds of shit through the air, and she lands on the ground, and she's fine. Everybody's like, oh. You know, like, oh, Mulan, you know, you're so, you know, rambunctious and shit like that and whatever. And it's like, oh shit, this is what we're in for.
Chasing a chicken.
The thing is, like, chicken the rest of the movie, like, and there's no Mushu.
Well, here's the thing I find to be fascinating about this is, so for me, like the first trailer didn't wow me, right?
Yeah. And
then the second trailer, they did a whole new rendition of Mulan's song from the beginning of the movie.
There are no songs in this movie.
I know there's no songs in the movie. I get that, yeah.
Cues, but that's it.
But I really liked that version of the song, because I love Mulan. I think Mulan's a fantastic animated film. I've always enjoyed it. I rewatched it again recently, and I'm like, yeah, the music was fantastic. Like
they turned Cricket into a guy, so he's just kind of there.
Oh,
what? And then Mulan is supposed to be dressed as a boy or you know, as a male soldier. And oh my God, if you can't tell that that's a girl, then what is wrong with these guys? You know,
well, all things considered, they thought, I mean, you know, they probably thought she was pretty effeminate, and they're just like, oh, it's, you know, it's one of them.
Watch the movie.
Yeah, I don't. Well, I mean, look, I always think back to Gwyneth Paltrow in Shakespeare in Love, right, where like she had to pretend to be a boy, so she took a board and literally like wrapped it around her chest.
Well, so Milan did that here. She had, you know, her chest plate, and she wrapped it and kind of tried to, you know, squeeze that and whatever. But that's the only thing. I mean, everything else about her is just like, you look at her, I mean, if you know the I don't want to say the skeletal structure of a lady, but it's a little bit different. You can definitely tell that, you know, I don't know, man. I just when I was looking, I was like, are you kidding? You know, you're out here doing all this stuff. You can clearly just tell that this is a little lady that's out here, you know, with these guys. And then they do this one thing. It's like, you know, they try to get on the top of this mountain, right? And they're holding these water barrels or water baskets, and they have to make it to the top. No other soldier can make it up there, but she makes it up there. Like I would have bought it if, like, you know, she made it up there, and like, you know, some of the other guys that made it and were like, you know, cheering her on, waiting for her to finally, you know, do it herself or whatever. But she was the first one, and I think she was the only one. And I was like, whoa, that says a lot for the Chinese army.
Didn't they? Yeah, didn't I mean? I think Vito Gasoldi was like, she's like a Mary Sue. And everyone always like to say that Ray's a Mary Sue, but I think Mulan takes the cake in this particular situation.
I think Mary Sues are just jumping out everywhere.
Yeah, because I mean, like I watched, like, what is it? One movie I frequently rewatch on Disney Plus a lot is Zootopia. Because
Okay.
my daughters love it, and I'm not gonna lie, it's probably my favorite Disney animated movie that's not Pixar.
The only one scene that I really like about that is with the sloth.
Oh no, dude, there's so much more. There is so
Um,
that movie is so like tied to Los Angeles in so many ways.
mm,
And but it's not only that, it is that movie's confusing on a political level because it is not only anti-racist, it is also pro-cop, right?
mm,
It's both. And that movie, if you were to take that exact same story and apply it to like that of like a R-rated cop noir story, it would be like the story would be epic, right? It would be epic. People would flock to that shit. They took an adult story
yeah.
and they put it in this kids movie, and it's complete with racism.
Mhm.
You know, it's complete with stereotypes. It's like, I mean, it's got violence in it. It's got
Yeah.
like, you know, like they're gonna murder this, they're gonna ice him like the Godfather, like ice him, you know, and like they're gonna kill me. Like they allude to like other people getting killed by mobsters in like this Hollywood underground, like
Yeah.
all, you know. And then of course they have the Breaking Bad reference, which I thought was fantastic. Did you catch that at the end when it's with the Rams?
No.
Or yeah, it's like he's like, oh, there's a Walter and Jesse are here at one point,
Oh,
and,
okay.
and he's got on the yellow hazmat suit.
No, I don't. I watched it one time.
Yo,
The
oh,
last
dude.
thing I remember at the end was, that they found out the leopard, the black leopard, was like going crazy and chasing him or whatever.
Oh,
and they had
the Panther.
Yeah, the Panther, right? The Panther. And they were doing it to themselves or what? I watched it one time. And
Oh,
that was
dude, you
good.
got to watch it again. Like you got to watch it again and like actually analyze it from like an adult film perspective,
Yeah,
because they put so much, like they go to this nudist colony, right? They go to this nudist colony in there. And again, the way they work it in is so fun. It's a naturalist colony. So it's all
Yeah.
these animals that just don't want to wear clothes. And she is freaking out. And then it does this montage of like all of them like playing water sports or doing yoga. And it's like there's no genitals, but you could totally see this being a scene in like an Axel Foley Beverly Hills Cop type movie from the 80s.
yeah, sure,
So-
sure. And with animated, you can get away with things like that. That's
Yeah,
interesting.
there's so much there. Like I've watched this movie probably like 20 times in the last like few months.
Not-
And it's my go-to in the morning. I'm like, what do you want to watch? My daughter's like, Fancy Nancy. I'm like, no. We've watched enough. We've already watched the season like 4 times.
Yeah.
Zootopia, because she likes Judy Hopps too. And I just love, like, again, this is like a movie from the 80s that was made into a kids movie that has so many adult themes in it that it's beautifully woven. It's like there's even like they even make fun of movie piracy. Right? They even make fun of movie piracy in the film too. Like it's just these little gags that keep popping up in Zootopia that just make me love it more and more and more. And so I recommend it wholeheartedly. Kevin here is asking, what did we think of Ben Affleck's Live by Night? I never saw it actually.
I did. Yeah, I did see it.
Is it that? Because I've heard I like the trailer.
Gone Girl was better.
Well,
the,
Gone Girl wasn't him directing it.
Accountant was better.
That wasn't him directing it either.
Okay. And what was the last? The Way Back, and I don't think he directed that one either.
No, well, because the ones he directed was Gone Baby Gone,
Right.
which I haven't seen, but I heard was good. And then he did The Town, which was phenomenal.
Like it, but I didn't like the end
Of The Town.
No. I have The Town. Of Gone Baby Gone.
Okay.
I didn't like the end.
I haven't seen
how
it.
she. Okay. So yeah, at the end when you find out what happened with her, then that's what I don't like.
Okay.
But everything else before that was really good. Great performance by Ben and everybody else.
Yeah, isn't Casey's more of the main character in that, isn't he, or is Ben the main character in that one?
Casey is the main character in Gone
Okay.
Baby Gone.
Okay, and then of course Argo, which I thought Argo was fantastic.
Argo was a fantastic movie.
And he deserved that award for that. And so that was his vanity project, was Live by Night. I know, like, but the thing is, you can tell Warner Brothers knew it was not going to be as good when they released it in January. So it wouldn't be up for award season. And it was
they didn't promote it.
They barely promoted it. Yeah. And it came and it went. And I think there's even
that's why when he was on the junket, he was getting upset that everybody was asking about Batman. And he was like, well, where's Live by Night?
That was on Jimmy Kimmel. He was asking, everybody asking me about Batman. Batman. No one is going seeing my movie, Live by Night.
Yeah.
Is it on HBO Max? Can anyone check on that right now? Because I do want to watch it. I was at Best Buy, and I could have sworn I saw like an extended cut of the film was out.
Maybe the extended cut's better because
Maybe, I don't know. Like I haven't
when I
heard.
watched it, I wasn't impressed. I was like, "This is it," because at the time, BVS was out and all that, and I was like, and we were getting excited about the solo Batman outing that he was planning and all that, and I was like, "Let me have a look at beefed up Bruce Wayne in a different role," but it just wasn't that good.
I just think because at the time you could tell
was freaking great.
Well, because the way back is more of a cathartic thing for him, and I think because it also
was his life, basically.
Yeah, and then he also ends up with Ana de Armas during a pandemic lockdown, and the man seems very happy. So good on you, Ben, you bastard. But good on you. I think I just think Live by Night kind of hit him.
She'll be Talia or Catwoman?
No. I don't think. I think that would be like going a bit too far. Now, do I think? No, because I honestly think at this point the MCU is going to snap her up.
Oh,
I think Disney's going to come on in and try to get her for something or another. But I think she'd be a good Catwoman. I think she would be a good Catwoman. I mean, that's if we're going to get more of that world, and I hope we do. I'll tell you this: as excited as I am for what Matt Reeves is going to do with the Batman, because that trailer was just phenomenal. I still, to me, Affleck is my Batman, and I want more of that. Like I would sit there as good as Reeves' movie looks.
See what Reeves is doing that's different from what Nolan was doing, because it just seems like another Batman sort of based in a reality type environment, and Ben Affleck's is a little bit more comic based, or comic definitive, and so that's why and I prefer a gray suited Batman with a black cowl than I do just all black and just sort of drab and boring. Plus, his new Batmobile is shit. But yeah, I need to see something different.
Sure.
Why is it different? Why do I care? I like what I've seen, and I'm interested. And after shooting 20% of the movie before they were shut down, that they got a trailer out of all that. That's pretty great.
Well, it's like, I'll tell you. So the thing with that is never really believe those numbers, by the way, because those numbers are just there is PR spin. So for example, back at Comic-Con 2003, I believe they are, whenever it was, when did X-Men 2 come out? That was 2003, right? X-Men United.
That's 2002.
2002?
2002 for X-Men United? Was it?
Was it 2000 for X-Men?
Yes, I think it was 2002.
2003. It was 2003 for X-Men United, and then 2006. So it was on a 3-year cycle. But at Comic-Con 2002, Bryan Singer was there promoting X-Men, and he's like, "Hey guys, we've only been filming the movie for 2 weeks, but I put together something for you." And he shows us literally the first trailer of the movie.
Yeah.
And he's like, "That's only 2 weeks of filming." Fuck you, no, it's not. Right? I didn't care because that trailer was awesome and it was all Wolverine kicking ass in the mansion and shit. Right? Like, it was a good trailer, and it really, because I think X-Men United is the best of the X-Men movies.
I liked X-Men Last Stand the best.
Are you
with directed by
Brett Ratner? No, Brett Ratner did.
No. Okay, not the Last
You're
Stand.
thinking First Class.
First Class, yes.
Okay, because I'm like, whoa,
yes,
man,
sorry,
whoa.
That was directed by Mark Webb, right?
That was directed by Matthew Vaughn.
Okay,
Mark Webb did Spider-Man, Amazing Spider-Man 1 and 2.
Yeah. Okay, got it.
But right. Matthew Vaughn, but you got to give credit to Matthew Vaughn though, because
he wanted to do a Superman movie at one point.
Yes, he did, and then that didn't happen. And I still kind of hope it does, because I think he would be better for the job than let's say J.J. Abrams would.
J.J. should never be anywhere near Superman. I know he had a treatment.
Oh, it's gonna happen. It's gonna happen.
No,
it's gonna happen.
He's on JL Dark. Leave him on JL Dark.
He's only producing JL Dark for HBO Max. It's not. He'll come in there. He'll come in there and be like, okay, all my movies do really well. Critically speaking, maybe not so much, but box office wise, they do pretty good. Why don't you guys give me Superman? All right, and I think he'll take it.
They passed on him though.
They passed on him then.
Yes.
But when was then?
Now?
They didn't pass on him now.
When?
No, when did he have that script? When did he have that script? I get. God damn it! I got it. I just
Yeah.
got it. Okay, Spaceballs.
Yeah.
Good play. Good play. But what about now? You mean then? No, I mean now, right now. But what about then? Then's gone.
Well, you missed it. Just when? Just now.
That's still one of the funniest damn movies ever made. But no, here's oh man, no, Matthew Vaughn. See, I like Matthew Vaughn in the R-rated space. I think Kick-Ass, the first one,
Yeah.
10 years on is still classic. Actually, I think they're doing a 4K version of it coming out this December.
Oh, okay.
So I think it's a 4K Steelbook is coming out, and I will be getting that one because it also gave us one of Nick Cage's best performances.
In Kick-Ass?
Kick-Ass as Big Daddy.
Yes.
He was excellent. He was excellent as Big Daddy in
And
that
he should
movie.
never have been anywhere near Superman. I don't care how much he wanted to be Superman.
I still would love to see it. I would love
It'd be
to
funny
see
to
a
see like a
medic.
cameo, just kind of him flying by and like, just like, I'm gonna go protect this, president of the United States of America.
Like my papa always said that many hands made for light work. When I was in the Army Rangers, I learned that too. Wait, aren't you Superman? Ah, shit! I thought this was Con Air.
Yeah. I'm Kal-El from Krypton.
Fuck it, dude. Fuck it. Come on. That would be funny. I would be. Look, you could redeem the entire Arrowverse for me by making that cameo a reality. And right now, I think
he's already said no.
I think if he's because he actually really does care about the character, like he does.
Oh, he does. No, Superman's his favorite character,
yes.
just like Ben Affleck is. Batman is Ben Affleck's favorite character.
And I don't think they'd ever want to do something that was funny. Like that was you could probably tell like when they're doing the Justice League reshoots, and Ben actually had to say the line, "Oh, that's gonna leave a mark." That you could tell he was like lamenting that line. It felt so forced.
Like Ray saying "booyah," like "booyah." It didn't look like he liked saying that.
Well, we know he didn't like saying that. But then again, Momoa going, "My man," is like still great. It's totally Momoa, and I love that about the guy.
Yeah, he's pretty clever.
But I think a lot of those guys, like I think if you were gonna have Momoa pop up as like and make fun of Aquaman, which he did in I think the Lego Movie Part 2. Where he had a brief voice cameo in that. And like he would, because Aquaman kind of like established itself as being that kind of cartoony-esque type situation.
That was one of the movies that they sort of tried to stray away from the Snyderverse and make it a little bit more saturated and
but I loved Aquaman. I loved it.
It was great. It was great movies. I have the poster. I have I have everything.
I went into that. I was it Amazon they were doing like a pre-release of it, right? Like a pre-screening. And it was like, if you're an Amazon Prime member, you can see Aquaman tonight in theaters, one night only. I'm like, oh, that's cool. Is it free? You got to pay money.
No.
Fine. Oh, no. This was great. This was fantastic. I went out early in the evening to go do Uber Eats because I was going to like make some money before going to see the movie because I had to pay like $12 for the ticket. And I was like, fuck, I'm broke. And I ended up doing this pizza run that paid out like $20 with the tip. And it took me literally like 2 towns away because for some reason there's only one Papa John's, like a 3-city area that delivers with Uber. And it took me right like maybe half a mile away from the theater. And I'm like, oh, cool. So I just made like $20 to go where I needed to go anyway. Yoink.
I've done that. Yeah.
And but awesome. No, I went into it with low expectations, to be honest with you. And just because I wasn't too sure what to think of it. I wasn't too sure I
actually avoided the trailers purposefully. Because I wanted to go in just cold. I didn't want to know anything. I didn't want to see Volko, Willem Dafoe. I didn't want to see any of that. And I went in and I was pleasantly surprised. I mean, Patrick Wilson stole the damn show for me. I was like, yes. The weakest point for me was Amber Heard's interaction with Momoa. I didn't think they had good chemistry. I didn't think Yaya did a great job. I thought he was just, kind of a chip on his shoulder just to have a chip on his shoulder for half of the movie.
I still liked him in the role. I still thought it was good. I still thought he did a good job
in the costume, and I loved the visuals and all that. But it just like, it's like, I don't want your money. I want Aquaman. And I was like, I just don't buy that. I'm like, take the fucking money and do something to buy whatever you need to destroy Aquaman. It's I don't know. He like dropped it on his little manta ray ship or whatever, and he was just kind of like, eh. But yeah, no, and Pitbull did not belong in that fucking movie.
Oh yeah, that was really weird. That was simply just
They
to
were
sell
just walking
that.
out of the water like,
Yeah,
and
and
I
then
was
like,
like, what the fuck is this?
and then also, what was it when they played Toto's Africa?
That was
That
it. That
yeah,
was that was
yeah. I was just
was,
like, I mean, don't get me wrong. Like, I love that.
I
Not
love
his version of the
Toto's.
song.
Yeah,
Yeah, I love. And also, Weezer did a cover that was pretty
Weezer
good.
did do a cover of it. They did
And
a
so,
very good rendition of it.
so I'm like, but the Pitbull one was like, okay, what are we? 2009 Warner Brothers?
Woo! It's
Yeah.
like, ooh.
It's like I'm like, this is how you guys are trying to sell this to like the MTV generation. It's
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
what are you doing?
Like
You
half of the theater, for little preteens and teens were
uh,
like, "Oh my god, it's Pitbull, fucking 40-year-old saying something,
yeah,
singing to me."
it was that was so, and then like they come out of the water. That was like the thing I like about that scene though was Lee Wannell was the pilot. And he's the guy
Oh,
who
okay.
did Invisible Man, directed it, Upgrade. He also co-created Saw with James Wan.
Oh wow. I
And
didn't know
so
that.
that was him
Okay.
cameoing as the pilot, which I thought was pretty cool.
Another thing I didn't like was the Pinocchio reference. I was like, that's too on the nose. I didn't mind him like when they were in the water and he made the Pinocchio reference, but when the girl brought the book to Amber Heard, I was like, come on now.
Yeah, I know. Well, I mean, I think part of that too is like they were just trying to play up like the fantasy adventure aspect of it,
Sure.
and like maybe this was his destiny.
It would
And
have
as
been
a
better if
result,
you like looked it up on Wikipedia. I mean, that
something
would have
like
been more plausible.
yeah. But I mean,
Yeah.
I will say though that I did like Tamara Morrison in the brief role he was in.
I love Tamora Morrison. I mean, yes, Tamora Morrison was great in Green Lantern as well.
I've only seen that one time.
He played Amon Sur.
Oh, okay.
He was the one that was dying that Hal got the ring from.
Oh yeah. I will say this though, but the Nicole Kidman was fucking awesome in that.
Oh
opening of that
yeah, her
movie.
fight scenes were fantastic. I
And
love
the
the
way-
camera work.
Well, that
Great.
reminds me too. See, the camera work on that was very similar to the camera work James Wan did in Fast and Furious 7.
Mm.
Especially the fight scene. Well, towards the beginning. So in the movie, the beginning of Fast and Furious 7, when Jason Statham is like exiting the theater exiting the hospital, and we just see the carnage that he caused to get in there, which I thought was such an excellent just opening. I love that opening because you kind of get a little bit of that camera work in there, but he really ramped it up for Aquaman. And the other thing I liked too was like I love the Lovecraft reference at the very beginning of the movie when like it zoomed in on the snow globe. There was a H.P. Lovecraft book there, and it caught my
yeah. It was sitting on top of
and I'm like, oh, that's I don't know. Like I was like, is that deliberate? Like, is that deliberately gonna put like H.P. Lovecraft in the? I mean, because you can see it and you know what it is, and then but then when you get down and you see like the like whatever the Kraken, whatever that thing was, the Julie. I love that they got Julie Andrews to voice this otherly
Mary
like
Poppins.
this elder god sort of character, this cosmic horror. And it's just like he comes riding it into battle, like fuck yeah, dude.
Yes, that was the best. I was like, yes, I'm invested. I love it. I can't wait for them to come out. I don't care about this trench movie that they're talking
That's to
about.
me like the stupidest goddamn thing.
That, and then also Patty was talking about doing an Amazonian movie, not Wonder Woman 3, but Amazonians. She
I
wanted
thought
to do
it was a series.
a series or movie or whatever. I could care less. I mean, I'm not in. I don't care. It's like doing a Kryptonian movie. Like I don't care.
I think Patty is realizing that her time is done. If you want my honest opinion, I don't think she's gonna do Wonder Woman 3.
I don't know that she won't do Wonder Woman 3. I think that like, okay, if you saw her on Fandom, she was really, I want to say, simping for Zach.
Oh, it was it was abundantly clear
Yeah.
that she was doing that because he was the centerpiece,
Yeah.
right? Like he was the centerpiece of that entire damn
What
thing.
she did was she gravitated over to John's, and then that's no good. So she has to gravitate over back to the guy who picked her, who tapped her for the movies in the first place, which was Zach, and who was also a producer on Wonder Woman 84.
Yeah, but we don't know what capacity he's a producer.
don't.
I mean, I always like to go back to the Tim Burton line from Comic-Con 2009. First time going to Comic-Con, he had never been. They finally got him there. He was promoting the movie 9, that animated movie.
Yeah, I saw that.
And then he was only an exec producer, but people thought that he had. Yeah, because it's just like Nightmare Before Christmas. Everyone thinks Tim
It
Burton
was
directed that.
It was the same sort of what do I want to say, artistic, I
Well,
guess, tone.
it was, yeah, this is very similar in regards to like the gothic nature of it.
Frank and Weenie,
Well,
you know,
Corpse
Nightmare
Bride,
Before
you know.
Christmas, yeah, all that, Corpse Bride, exactly,
Yeah.
all that sort of like it's all his universe, right? The only thing that really wasn't his universe, I want to say, was the first Batman, and the Black Cauldron.
He
didn't direct Black Cauldron.
He was involved in it though, and he was in the art department working on the Black Cauldron.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that he'd worked with
That's why, and he did a version of Frankenweenie when he was still working with Disney and trying to pitch it.
Yeah, I saw that. Like, I saw that from back in the day. I remember that. And then I remember when they did the movie, I was like, I've seen this before.
Yeah.
Okay. I find it funny that Tim Burton, like this gothic punky kid, and you're like, oh man, wow, I wonder where he's from, and it's like fucking Burbank.
Yeah, Planet of the Apes was also not really his.
See, I didn't hate that movie though.
I thought, okay, so his movies to me, like Sleepy Hollow and Planet of the Apes, are very, and even Batman Returns, are very claustrophobic. You can tell that they're on a stage, sound stage.
Yeah.
And not like they're not atmospheric. They don't feel like, you know, they went to location and shot it. And that's why that's kind of like what disconnects me when I'm watching the film, because I'm like, oh, okay, this is just a set. Okay, I got it. So I mean, hell, even when they did the what do you call it, the scarecrow in the cornfield, I was like, you couldn't just find a cornfield and put a scarecrow out there and give us some atmospherics and make it look a little bit more, you know, crazy. I mean, it was just, I don't know. I that's just me, but I was just like,
yeah, I
very claustrophobic.
I think, but he started getting better when he did Big Fish. I think Big Fish,
yes,
like really
Big
kind of,
Fish was great.
it was, yeah, that's my favorite Tim Burton movie. I just love, like, I love the world. I love the lore. I love how he unfolded the story. And then I kind of feel like he's been trying to recapture that ever since, you know, like, what was that? Big Eyes? You know, I don't know. That was a dumb one.
Yes, with Amy Adams and I forget.
Yeah, and then he did, I'm sorry, Sweeney Todd was fucking terrible.
I did see that.
Not a fan of musicals.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of that one.
I don't mind musicals. I just didn't care for like the movie. I just kind of felt like it was like, all right, you're just, yeah, okay. And then I would love to see Tim Burton
and using Johnny Depp all the time.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's the thing is I would like to see Tim Burton and Johnny Depp team up once more, but I'd like to see Tim Burton go to Netflix and then Netflix go, okay, here's a check, have fun. Because I think like that's the thing I like about Netflix is they, for the most part, they kind of let these directors do their own thing. And that is where I love the quote, like when they first announced that Netflix had picked up Army of the Dead and Snyder was going to be directing it. And I was like, oh shit, dude, this means hands off. This is good or bad, hands off of what we're going to be getting out of this movie. And then even Snyder's like, I'm off the chain. Like nothing on me. I'm off the chain. And I'm like, oh shit.
That I think for me, that was very therapeutic for him to say.
True. Well, because you know what he also did on that movie too. He didn't just direct it; he literally shot it. He was also the cinematographer.
Oh, okay. No, I didn't. I mean, I saw him in the vehicle.
Yeah, well, that's like the only promotional shot of that movie.
He shots a lot, like because he shoots in chronological order. You know,
oh, he does. I didn't know that.
Yeah. Because when he's setting up these scenes, it takes forever for them to even do an action shot because he goes through and he sets up the different shots that he wants, and then it's on to the next shot, and they set that up. The lighting guys get in and just restructure. That's why he's very different. As he doesn't have like 4 or 5 cameras on the set, ready to go and shooting from all different angles or whatever. He has one camera that he concentrates on, and that's the one that he shoots his films using the primary camera. So
nice. I'm excited for Army of the Dead because I think it's going to be, I agree with you about it being therapeutic, and I like the fact that he's like, we get to see him because I feel like he got hindered with Sucker Punch, and I mean,
like, during Sucker Punch,
I saw it on my birthday when it came out because it came out like I think March 25th, and my birthday is March 26th. So we saw it. Yeah, we saw it on my birthday. And I was like super excited to see it. And I walked out going like, I'm really conflicted about this movie. And I've only seen it one time. I know the extended cut is on HBO Max, and everyone tells me like the extended cut's a lot better.
It's sort of, yeah. I mean, I've heard that too, but I'm like, I fell asleep in the other one. Am I just gonna fall asleep again?
Yeah.
But this time maybe a longer snooze.
Apparently, I mean, I find it funny that like all these Zack Snyder movies always kind of boil down to, have you seen the extended cut?
Well, that's the Owl movie. I haven't seen that one either, but I've heard that.
I have.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's fucking
really good.
That's visual as fuck, dude.
I couldn't find it, to where it was in a subscription. You have to purchase it.
So I think it's on HBO Max now, or it's somewhere. Might be on Hulu.
I found it on Amazon, but you have to purchase it.
Oh. Yeah, no, if you can see it, see it. It's solid. It's I mean, visually speaking, like, because it came out at the same time as Tangled back in the fall of 2010. And it came out right around that same time. And I think, I mean, the two movies are completely, absolutely different across the board.
One has Shazam, the other one.
Yeah, one's got Mandy Moore and Shazam. The other one's got, fucking owls.
Yep.
But it's a dark story. It's a really dark story. And it works. It feels like kind of like mid-'80s Don Bluth.
Gahul,
yeah. And because it's like the first book in the series.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that either.
I mean, there's a scene where they literally like hypnotize children in order to turn them into slaves. Right? Like, it's just this, it's a fucking maniacal, dude. It's like,
I had an owl outside of my house years back, and that thing was freaking huge. It was so close. I was like, dude, there's no way that thing is that big. And that it was like, oh my God, I was freaked out. I was glad I was inside my house, because this thing, you could just see it like perched. And I was like, holy crap, that thing is bigger than I thought they would be.
I've the owls, I've seen some pretty big ones up where I live. Especially doing the enumeration stuff for the census, as it starts getting dusk and I'm out in these remote areas, you'll start seeing them come out, and it's like, what the fuck was that thing? I'm like, is it an owl, or is it like a pygmy human that's coming to kill me?
Yeah. It's got a big head.
Yeah. Oh my, no, that was last night. I thought I was gonna die last night. I go to this place, middle of nowhere, like legitimately middle of nowhere. And I'm looking for, all they tell me is like, I'm looking for an RV, a white RV with a brown stripe. Right?
No. I'm looking at You Call Me Joker. He says it's impossible to shoot chronologically. You don't have to shoot chronologically. I apologize if I said that, but he sets up his shots, especially for fight scenes. Those do go in order, but you can. I mean, I've shot chronologically before, so I know it can work. Not quite sure what exactly you're trying to convey with that, but I think he's just trying to say the way Zach shoots his sequences are chronological, but they don't shoot chronologically. Because if he's going into it and he's doing if he's setting his shot list, and his shot list is, I want all this action to be, I want everything to happen chronological. I mean, that would kind of, the scenes kind of play out like that. But then again, like, when you shoot scenes, like if you're shooting these reverse angles, you will shoot extra dialogue. Like you will go, okay, go and give me this line. Oh, yeah. Do this, do that, do this. Maybe we'll come back to this later. Maybe we'll come back to this, whatever, the shot. And that's really about it. I mean, it could be whatever, but I don't know. Like, the way I view it is, when I look at Snyder, and the reason why I love Snyder, and the reason why I guess you could say like maybe I simp for Snyder, right? Like I always defend him, is I feel like as all these blockbuster directors, he's like this, always this underdog that everyone seems to just really undervalue. But there's always this really amazing subtext in his work that has always been captivating for me. And I still think the best thing he's done is Watchmen. I really like Watchmen. You do, or you don't? I do.
Now, are you talking theatrical or directors or ultimate?
The extended, whichever one.
The director's cut. Sorry, go ahead.
The director's cut. I recently rewatched it after so many years, because in the first time I saw it, I kind of hated it. Then I rewatched it and I enjoyed it.
I love the movie. And then there was a video game that came out where like you're fighting as Rorschach and
Yes, Night Owl.
Which I love Owlman. Thomas Wayne Jr. But that'd be awesome. But where you're fighting him and these people. It was such a like for its time because it's an old video game, but it was so graphic. Like you beat the shit out of people in the video game. And I was like, yes, this is just like the movie. This beats some ass.
I never played the game, but that was the one that like the trailer for that captivated the fuck out of me for like the movie. And even the trailer for 300, because I remember, again, I go back to Comic-Con because this is where I see a lot of this shit for the first time. And they had the trailer for 300 and they showed it to us once. And it was like, it was at the time in 2006, this is almost like nothing you'd ever seen because they did a lot of the underwater photography in order to like get those particular effects. Never mind the green screen and like all the different, like it looked like a comic book movie. It really did. And it was just completely vastly different. And then, so like they showed us the trailer and they showed it to us again. And when they showed it to us again, I had my little mini DV camera and they're like, no recording trailer. So I'm like, eat a dick. So then I was sitting in a good spot. And so I just kind of like, I just held my camera back and I pointed it up at the screen and I recorded it. And I took it to work that night and I showed my coworkers. I'm like, you guys got to fucking see this. And so we were all hyped for 300 when that came. And I just think that like that movie, like, because you look at Dawn of the Dead, which I still think that the 2004, his version of Dawn of the Dead is probably like the best modern zombie film because it was just fun. It wasn't as full of dread as Romero's.
Well, I loved the old one, the black and white one, the Night of the Living Dead.
Oh yeah, that was
Oh, God, I watched that one night when I was alone and it was dark and I was the only one in the house. And I swear after that movie, I legit had nightmares. And I was like, wow, it's such an old movie to have that sort of effect on me. I was like, that's pretty amazing.
Yeah. There's what's funny about Night of the Living Dead is, it's in the public domain, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And that's always
over 70 years old.
Well, no, because they forgot to file the paperwork.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that's why. That's why. I think It's a Wonderful Life is in the public domain because it's over 70. But when it comes to Night of the Living Dead, which was 1968, that was because they forgot to file the paperwork. And so it kind of ended up going out there. But the thing is, like, so I saw the original Dawn of the Dead. It was Halloween night. And I had come home from work and like nothing was really happening. And I was like, all right, I'm just chilling out. I just turned on an Encore and it was just getting ready to begin. I'm like, okay. So, I sit back and light up a cigarette and go back to watch the movie. And it was just like, I was just sucked into it from the beginning. And then by the time it ended, I was like, I had the lights on, like it was just me in the house. And I was like, oh my God, this like, it freaked the hell out of me. It was just because it was so subtle and it was so unnerving in so many ways. Yeah. And that's why, like, I just feel like that movie had such a great message in regards to like consumerism. And Snyder, his version didn't. It wasn't really about that. It was about materialistic things.
Yes.
Yeah, but it wasn't. It was different themes, and that's fine. But James Gunn's twist to it, like, I would love to see Gunn write a script that Zack Snyder directs again. I would love to see the two of them pair up. And maybe under Warner's, now we got the Peacemaker series.
Yeah.
We got that, and that's gonna, that's gonna be into the DCEU. That's still staying in that same.
It's staying in the wheelhouse of the whatever the Suicide Squad. Yeah.
Which is still considered part of following up the events of the first movie.
Sure, because you do have a little bit of, like I said, they have that connective tissue. You have 4 actors from the other Suicide Squad movie that's coming out. It's just it's a different movie with the same players, but maybe you get a different tone.
Yeah,
and that's kind of the only thing. Yeah,
and I'm okay with that. I'll tell you this: it doesn't need to have like when it comes to this whole like continuity aspect, right? Like when I think of Marvel, I love Marvel movies. I'm a big MCU buff. But I do notice, and I do complain, that a lot of times they're very homogenized. They're shot the same. They look the same color palette. Yeah. And I get it. They're establishing a world. It is an episode of a TV show. Yeah. That is what Feige's going for. And it works. But I have to give credit to not only James Gunn, but Scott Derrickson for coming in 2014 with Guardians and 2016 with Doctor Strange, and even Taika with 2017's Thor.
I think Taika just kind of jumped onto the Guardians palette.
I think so, but I think he also did a good job with it. I think showing us that world with all those colors, it worked for me. At first I didn't like it, to be honest with you.
It was okay.
It grew on me a lot.
It was hit and miss for me. Like some of the jokes landed, some of the jokes didn't. Like the Charlie and I'm sorry, Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory.
That was a little bit weird.
That was weird.
That was weird.
I recognized it immediately.
Yeah.
But the smoldering fire and the big fire, sort of the back and forth with the Hulk, that was humorous, but it got kind of silly. And that's just kind of like Taika. It's just he goes a little too far.
Not always. Sorry to interrupt you, but
No,
I'm not a fan of Ragnarok. But Taika can balance both humor and serious stuff. I mean, as much as I'm not a fan of the ending of Jojo Rabbit, he did know how to balance both the.
I watched that. I wasn't a fan of that one either. The Jojo Rabbit. Some scenes were funny, but some scenes were just.
I
funny.
haven't seen it yet. I've heard it's really. I heard it's really emotional. Like it's super like gut wrenching emotional.
No.
Oh, it's not.
The
Okay.
The ending kind of ruins it. Watch it, but you will see.
Okay.
what
The
I'm
ending
talking
ruins
about.
the movie. Okay, I like that. That's a great way to sell me on wasting 2 hours of my life. The ending ruins the movie. No, I see the thing that works for me with Ragnarok, and I think it's because like I will say that I think that Chris Hemsworth is a very funny individual.
Mhm.
And I love that he loves the character of Thor. And I love that he doesn't want to give up being Thor. And this also has to do with the fact that his career otherwise hasn't taken off at all.
Yeah. Ghostbusters was crap, and
But it was terrible. But the saving grace of Ghostbusters, and I mean this like literally like the only thing was that it showed us that Chris Hemsworth is funny. And he can sell it. He can sell that dry Australian sarcasm.
I think he did better in Vacation than he did in Ghostbusters.
Okay. You know what's really funny about that?
The comedic, aspect of him.
Well, in Vacation when they showed him like when he was in like the pictures of him in the Speedo,
Yeah.
that was my friend was the body double.
Oh, really?
My friend is in his mid 40s. Actually, at this point, it's like my friend is older than Chris by like.
And you recognized the.
No, he told me because he told me he told me about it before.
I saw you.
he told me about it before before the movie came out. He told me about it. And the thing is, like, when this guy is like this, he's a good dude, but like it's funnier than shit that like he's older than Chris Hemsworth and he was the body double.
Yeah.
He also like ended up doing all this like cover art for like all of these like trashy romance novels. He was like the pirate and like the Fabio like shirt and shit. I mean, hey, anything to make a living in LA, basically. But the thing I will say, like, I enjoyed Ragnarok for the humor, but here's why I think it worked out well. When you pair it, because you kind of have to pair it with Avengers Infinity War, right? Because we're following Thor's journey from Ragnarok. And I as much as I enjoyed Black Panther, having Black Panther come out in between both movies, like I thought was kind of dumb. It was kind of too much of a distraction, but anyway. And so you've got Thor's journey from Ragnarok where, he is top of his game, loses everything, his home, his father, his, what he has, but he did gain his brother. But then we get right into Infinity War and he loses his brother. And then everything from Infinity War the main perspective is Thor. So like the main point of view from the first Avengers movie was Captain America. We were watching it from his perspective. This time around, it was Thor, and he was not that he gave like compelling, amazing performances, but I think like watching that emotional arc happen from Thor Ragnarok through Infinity War and then where it took him in Endgame, I love his arc because I feel like that was just an authentic like about loss and regret and then redemption and finding yourself again. And that was why his arc for me was more emotional than even like Robert Downey Jr. dying, like it was just, I loved what they did with this character, which is why I'm very happy that he's sticking around. I am.
Oh yeah. You like that? You like that he's going to be AI or some shit?
No. Oh, no. Sorry. No, I mean Chris Hemsworth, not Tony.
Chris Hemsworth.
No.
Oh, yeah.
Sorry.
So he's going to be
no.
in Guardians 3 or something.
If they do, like I said this as soon as I got done watching Endgame, I'm like, they should totally do as Guardians of the Galaxy. It sets itself up. And there's actually
Yeah.
a comic book for it now, too.
Well, I think he's also supposed to be in that Love and Thunder.
He is, yeah. Well, no,
Yeah.
he said, because that is Thor. That is Thor 4. That is the fourth Thor movie.
Yeah,
And
but
then
aren't they changing Thor to Natalie Portman?
well, okay,
She's
okay,
going to
so,
be Thor.
well, it is okay. So it's part of the story. What you got to know about that is that generally speaking, the storyline of that run is that Jane Foster gets cancer.
Okay.
And then she ends up like getting Mjolnir and becoming Thor as a way to like it basically like keeps her alive. But every time she's not like wielding Mjolnir or becoming Thor, basically, she still goes back to her frail body type. And so what happens with Thor is like Thor himself ends up becoming unworthy because I think something like I think it was something that Nick Fury says to him or something. Do you know about this story?
Yes, I read. So basically, he whispers something to Thor, and he goes, "No, that cannot be true." And what was revealed that he said to Thor was, "The God Butcher was right." So that's why he becomes unworthy.
Okay. Yeah, it kind of seemed a little bit weird to me, but I guess the story arc is actually really good. From what I've been told, I haven't read it, but I've kind of looked at the overview of it.
Okay.
And I want to see what they do with it. I want to see how they kind of tie it back together. Although I don't think that necessarily Jane Foster has to come back, but whatever, it is what it is. But I mean, I really want to see Black Widow. I want to see what they're going to do with that. And I don't care about the Eternals. I'm sorry. Like, I just don't.
Yeah, I don't care about the Eternals.
I don't think anyone cares about the Eternals, which is why when they were like, oh, we're pushing Black Widow back and the Eternals is going back another year to November of 2021, but Shang-Chi's staying where it's at in July. And they're like, all right, yeah, like, who cares?
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, I'm not invested in this in the WandaVision thing yet. I'm like, I kind of get it, but I just don't care.
I'm all for it, man. I think it's going to be fun. I like the weird side of it. I know it's going to be tying into the multiverse of madness, of which there's now been zero talk on that.
Yeah,
we heard
right.
we heard that like back in March or something that Sam Raimi was in talks to come in to take over, and they were going to start filming in May, and then I know COVID happened, and there's been there's not even been an official announcement that Raimi is on board, and I'm like, okay.
I think it's confirmed that he was.
No, it was, as far as I know, it was never supposed to be, like, it was never confirmed publicly yet. Like, nothing by Marvel. I think because they've lost out on Comic-Con.
They didn't even do a D23.
Well, that makes sense. I do think they are going to do something like, I think at the investor call in like next week or whatever, that they're going to probably announce something that is very similar to like DC fandom. Like, we're going to give you a 2021 showcase of Disney Plus. And it's like Mandalorian, Cassie, like WandaVision, like all this shit they're going to drop on there and stuff. And it's like, all right, cool. Like Loki, they're shooting it right now. And every, who knows what else is going to go down, but they're probably going to be doing that because they know that they need to, they need to build the hype for Disney Plus, even though Mando season 2 is going to be, I think, pretty good. I can't fucking wait, dude.
I'm interested. I'll watch it. The first season wasn't bad. I'm kind of curious how they're gonna, what they're gonna do. But I did hear some controversies on set.
That's a lie.
No, actually, by somebody who is actually on set and working and knows Pedro.
What, that he walked off?
That he was upset that he didn't have a lot of FaceTime. He wanted more FaceTime. So.
See, that's the thing I don't get with that though, is like, he knows the lore, and I know that they're gonna. I mean, it might be because it's like, one of the biggest shows in the world.
Yeah, the person that told me this told Pedro, because he's a stunt guy. He was like, this really isn't the role for you because you're not going to be seen, Yeah. And he was only seen in one episode. Where he took his helmet off, and you saw him.
Well, and part of that too was like, I'd heard they started filming The Mandalorian before they cast Pedro.
It's possible because the guy that I was talking to, he's considerably taller than Pedro, and he was supposed to to be in the Mandalorian costume. He was supposed to play Mando. But when they settled on Pedro, he was smaller. So they they said, no, you can't be him. It has to be somebody, of his stature. But Pedro said, hey, I'll be in it. I want to do it. I want to do as much as I can. And but he said, hey man, this might not be the role for you, and he was like, no, I want to be in Star Wars. I've always wanted to do this. This is an awesome character, blah, blah, blah. And didn't give it a second thought. And then he had, there were things that happened on set, and he was like, dude, I don't even know if he's going to come back for the third season. So we shall see. He might. If they throw money at him, he might.
Well, at this point, it all becomes a negotiation tactic. Mm-hmm. But because he's out there promoting the show, I guarantee you, they're either gonna give him what he wants, and or they won't. And it doesn't. They can just go, look, we'll just use the voice, and we'll just have
Yeah, because they could easily do that. They could easily, if he's just supposed to stay behind the mask, we really never need to see Pedro's face.
But it does destroy the illusion.
It does.
So
I completely agree.
So when was it Bryce Dallas Howard is the first one to talk about that? You know that, right?
To talk about what?
To talk about the fact that he wasn't on set. So she was doing an interview before the release, I think, or maybe right after the release of her episode.
Yeah,
and she's
which
like,
I think was the weakest. I like Deborah Chow's episodes. I think.
Those were the best.
Yes,
but,
those are the best.
I would say
about Love for Rick Famuyiwa?
Oh well, his were really good too.
Who's
Ricky Famuyiwa? He did episodes 2 and episode 6.
The prison.
The prison one was a weak one too. That one was just a filler episode.
I loved it. I don't care. I've watched that one more than anything else because it's got Bill Burr.
Episode 2 was good.
Yeah, he did episode 2 because that was like an Indiana Jones episode.
I liked the first one from Filoni, but I did not like the Tatooine one from Filoni because there were too many damn callbacks to nostalgia and all that. I was like, really? They have to go back to Tatooine? Okay, really? They have to go back to Mos Eisley? Oh, there's no other city. Oh, okay. And really, they have to go back to the same damn cantina? Okay, really? The approach is the same approach that you saw from A New Hope? Okay, I was like, come on, Filoni, let's move past that.
Filoni directed only one, that episode 5.
That was the only one he did. I thought he did the first.
Filoni did the pilot, and then he did
the first one,
episode
and then
5.
And the Tatooine. Yes, the gunslinger.
Favreau was directing.
Favreau has not directed any. He's directing the first one in season 2. He's episode 1 for season 2. That's Favreau. That's the first one he's directed.
Yeah.
1 moment. Let me double check.
So
yes,
I really want to see what Rodriguez is going to bring to the table on this one.
Robert?
Yeah, he's doing an episode of season 2. Yeah.
Oh yes. Shit, I didn't know that.
So is Peyton Reed, which I think is such a weird change. But it's no Deborah Chow in season 2.
What?
I know.
No, wait. She's supposed to do the Obi-Wan.
Well, that's why, because they were supposed to already be filming Obi-Wan, and so she probably was off working on that thing. But it's I'll say this. I will catch crap for this. I will catch a ton of shit for this. I don't care. If Rian Johnson was announced to be directing an episode and he was just directing an episode, I would actually be really hyped for it.
I wouldn't be hyped. I'd be glad that, yes, he didn't get to write it.
Yeah. Well, I just go back to
those films should not have been written and directed by these guys. I'm sorry. JJ didn't want to do it, and JJ didn't want to come back and do number 9. It's like, why? Get somebody who wants to do that. Get somebody who's.
Well, I think it was like they had their plan. They established the arc, and then Johnson came in and fucked it up. But the reason why I say I would be hype if he was coming in to do Mando would because his episodes on Breaking Bad were the best episodes of Breaking Bad. His episodes were really, really good. And I'm like, again, and Knives Out, it's I think it's a well-directed movie. I think even Looper is a well-directed movie.
I like Looper.
Brick is a well-directed movie. It was good. It was good. It's it's definitely an indie film, but he can direct well, and I think he can do his own stuff well.
Well, I think that ILM really made Star Wars look fantastic for him. And that's what people kind of get lost in is oh man, no, it was great. It was no, dude, ILM put the icing on the cake. The cake was actually sour, but the icing looked beautiful. It looked like, Buddy from, Cake Boss, put that together.
Well,
It's
yeah.
like, oh my God,
What
it looks so beautiful.
What angers me about The Last Jedi is every time I see screenshots from it, I'm like, God damn, it looks amazing. You know, like the trailer was amazing. The cinema, like everything about the movie was really good.
Dude, I was so stoked for it because I knew that JJ made episode 7. It was just it was the same beats. Yes, Ray failed oh, hey, how'd you do that? I don't know. Well, let's continue on with the story. And let's say that 4 more times in the movie. And I was fine with it. I was like, dude, BB-8's awesome. I love BB-8. I thought that was a fantastic addition. And then they did the trailer. My son and myself, we did a trailer reaction for episode 8, and we were like, dude, yes, we're ready. We think this and this and this and whatever. And we go to the movies, and I was like, do you want to do a review? Because I don't. And he was like, no. And we quit doing YouTube for until after episode 9 was released. Then I was like, you know what? I'm going to say something about this crap. So,
yeah, I mean, I went and saw it with my dad. And
yeah.
I took my dad to go see it because he, he's a big Star Wars fan.
Yeah.
And we had never seen a Star Wars movie together because we'd always lived apart. And so I took him to go see it, and we got done watching it, and he's like, "What'd you think?" And I'm like, I don't know. I don't know how I think about this one. And he's like, "I liked it." And I was like, that's good. And then I went home, and I was driving home, and I'm just like thinking about the movie, and I'm like, what the fuck? And then I get home and my girlfriend's there, and we, our daughter is like a week old, and she's like rocking the baby to sleep. She's like, "Oh, how'd you like the movie?" And I start telling her about it. I'm just like, I don't know. I'm not happy with any of this. She's like, "Well, you can go do a review." I'm like, "Yeah, I'll go do my review." So I start recording my review, and then I get halfway through the review, and I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna go do another video about why this whole thing is wrong. And then I just put out this video, and it was one of the first videos really chastising the film. But I'd heard that it had leaked online the night before. The whole goddamn movie leaked online the night before. And so a friend of mine who's a huge Star Wars buff, watched the cam version of it. He watched it first. And I'm like, what the fuck are you doing? He's like, everyone said it was shit. So I wanted to see it first to see if it was shit. He's like, and it was shit. Yeah. Right. And then I'll tell you this though, man. If you ever want to know how lucrative bashing on Star Wars was, in the 2.5 weeks between when that movie dropped, no, the 2 weeks really, and the end of the year, I cleared $3,500 on this channel.
Oh, nice.
Most of that.
Yeah, see, I went the opposite direction. I was like, I don't want to fucking talk about this movie.
Oh, yeah, no. You should talk about the movie. I mean, the thing is, though, but the difference is, I know people have made a lot of money bitching about Star Wars.
Yeah.
Where I'm at with it right now is I don't like The Last Jedi. I'm hoping Enosh and I are going to do a long form discussion about it. And I told Enosh,
I had him on my show. We talked about.
I told him I've caught part of that. Yeah, and he was really dismantling. It was something about your rules, right? Your rules say this, so I can't say this.
That was different. That was
we were
funny. Discussing Darth Maul versus Phasma versus.
Oh, okay.
Who's the other one? Who died? Boba Fett. Yes,
Boba Fett. All
and
right.
And we were talking about who got the worst. Got it treated the worst in their respective trilogies, and I would not let him use any outside source. No comic books. No. Rebels or anything else like that. And then. So yeah, when I went to talk about Darth Maul, I was like, yeah, no, he, in the movie he died. He died in the movie. And well, you don't know that. I'm like, yeah, he got cut in fucking half. And then I said, well, then also George Lucas himself said he died. He was like, oh, you can't say that because George Lucas is not in the movie. George Lucas is outside the movie, and I was like, oh God, really? So yeah, he was upset that I set these rules in place. So he was doing anything he could to sort of wiggle out. And I was like, all right, yeah, whatever. So
I was funny argument, but I told him, I said, all right, man, I'm looking for somebody to red pill me on The Last Jedi. And I think it's because I'm just tired of hating it. I think that's really where I'm at. It's not that I want to love it.
I don't care.
Yes, it's not that I want to love it. I don't want to have someone sit there, hold my eyes open, chain me to a chair like Clockwork Orange, and get me to fall in love with the gospel of Rian Johnson. But what I want is to not feel mad when I think about that movie. What I want,
get depressed when I think about it.
I just get so why? For me, it's always going to boil down to Luke dying. That is the key right there. If you just would have,
okay. Enosh's big argument on that is that no one killed Luke. He he took his own life. So no one bested Luke. That's his whole freaking argument.
That's not even an argument. Okay, whatever.
Yeah.
Like that's not an
And
argument.
it's like no one killed Luke, and therefore Luke died a noble death or some shit.
How is that noble? It's like, bitch, you're sitting on a fucking rock looking over the twin sons of Aktu. He had
a fucking X-wing that Rey herself fucking lifted up out of the damn water, used it, went on the other side of the galaxy and helped her friends or whatever. And he didn't do that for his sister, and he didn't do that to help out his nephew.
Yeah.
Come on.
I thought that was really funny.
I thought him staying on that planet was like, oh man, that's such a great, demonstration of power by Luke, to be able to force project. I'm like, yeah, but that's a fucking coward. I was like, that's a cowardly move to not really be there. Like,
Well, it's the pacifist approach, but it's like, again, I get like the idea of the Buddhist warrior monk.
He could have done the same thing. He could have shown up with his hair clip for men, and he could have died.
He could have shown up and he could have died.
Or he could have absorbed all of the blaster bolts, kind of like Yoda did with Dooku's or Tyrannus's lightning.
Yeah,
he could have just like absorbed it all. And then like shot it back or some shit. I don't know, whatever.
That would have been
or just absorbed it and kept
it. But
it.
everyone would have called him too fucking powerful at that point then.
That's fucking Luke.
Sorry, let me be devil's advocate. We are only talking about movies specifically. We didn't know how much training Luke had after Return of the Jedi. So
that's true.
He had the books.
Which we will find out on Disney Plus. I guarantee you that's coming.
Page turners, they were not.
And
so
the
I don't know
interaction
how much he read those books.
Well, yeah. That's what Yoda said. But another thing is the deconstruction of Luke and Yoda. The communication that they had, the interaction that they had, was prior to Luke finding out that Yoda was indeed the Jedi Master. Because right at the moment that Yoda says, I cannot teach him, right then. Luke had the epiphany that, oh shit, this is Yoda. And from then on to Return of the Jedi, it's always been that respect conversation. Nobody's like, but then when you see Rian Johnson bring Frank Oz back in and make him be, page turners, they are not, and just hitting him on the head and acting like an idiot. I was like, that was all prior to that one epiphany. When he was like, messing with the light bulb, man, or I will help you not. When he thought he was just a nuisance.
Yeah.
And so that whole dynamic, Rian Johnson brought back and said, no, that's classic, Luke and Yoda. I was like, no, that's not classic Luke and Yoda. That's classic Luke and the crazy, little green fellow that he thought, was bothering him in the swamp. So
come on. The green guy is already dead. Let him have some jokes.
But he didn't exhibit that. Even in the prequels, he did not exhibit that. That wasn't who Yoda was and he didn't do that in Return of the Jedi either. He was always serious.
Yoda then Empire Strikes Back. He was totally different. He was more serious. And he was more. What's the look I'm looking for?
He was serious in the Phantom Menace when he was younger.
Yeah, but the way I kind of chalk it up is basically like by Return of the Jedi, Yoda was basically on hospice, and he
wasn't loopy in Return of the Jedi.
He was. Well, I mean, he'd been also but he'd also been on his own for roughly 30 years. He'd been out there by himself. That would mess with anybody, right? Like it messes with you.
No, I understand what you're getting at, but in that narrative, at the Empire Strikes Back, when Luke found out that it was Yoda and Yoda was the master, from then all the way until he disappears in Return of the Jedi, he was not crazy. It was only prior to Luke finding out that was Yoda that he was, acting like a fool. Just throw him off a little bit because he wanted to find out what Luke's temperament was.
Yeah. I mean, the thing is, like, I don't know. Like, I do think that when it comes to the idea of Luke and everything, and look, I've said this before, and I will maintain this. Disney is going to do everything they can to reestablish the mythology of Luke. And no, I mean this literally. So
you think they're going to get Sebastian Stan and
say,
okay, really?
Yes, I do. I think there's I think there's, okay, here's why. So there's a line in The Rise of Skywalker that seemed very kind of odd to me, to be fair. It's when they meet
I'm a
up with
Palpatine.
no, that was really odd. That was
I'm a
really odd.
Purpla.
Fucking Star Wars theory. No, it's when they meet up with Lando, and he goes like, Luke and I went looking for this for a long time. It's all like,
then we found Colt 45,
and then we found ourselves over here,
and that's when I became Two-Face.
yeah. I met a man by the name of Tim Burton back then. He's a groovy cat, weird hair, big glasses.
That
Promise
you know
me.
what? Since they have Keaton coming back for the Flash film,
Bring back Billy D as Harvey
Billy
Dent.
D
Fuck it,
and
do
show
it.
us freaking Two-Face, man. That would be such a redemption move for Warner Brothers.
That would be,
you know?
yeah. I'd be totally on board with that.
They're talking about Michelle Pfeiffer. No, bring back Billy D.
Billy D.
Yeah.
The remaking the Nutty Professor, right? Did you read?
Again?
Yeah.
This will be the third time.
I know. They're also doing another. They're also rebooting Father of the Bride, but this time with a Hispanic family, which could actually be pretty funny.
It could be funny. It could be funny.
Like I read that and I'm all like,
really? I think they're redoing. Are they redoing Doolittle?
They already did redo Doolittle,
that.
and it came out in January.
Yeah,
Universal dumped it in January.
Yes, it was Robert Downey Jr. Oh, I did not see it. Oh my god.
Yeah,
I'm glad I didn't see that.
I haven't. Everyone I know has seen this. Said it's fucking terrible. You know,
They
were like, Universal's like, we're going to spend a lot of money to try to give Robert Downey Jr. this new franchise, and then Downey Jr. is like, I'm playing a really drunk version of I'm Sherlock Holmes drunk trying to play Captain Jack Sparrow in a really weird accent, and then at some point they give a colonoscopy to a fucking dragon. You know, like it's just, and that was part of the reshoots. That was part of the reshoots with that movie. They were like, some executive at Universal was like, it'd be good here.
That's not surprising. That's not surprising because in the Superman Lives movie, they wanted to put that freaking spider in there that they used in Wild Wild West.
Yeah, that was great.
So yes, that does not surprise me.
Kevin Smith's story on that one.
Yeah,
that was oh god, back. I missed those evening with Kevin Smith.
Yes.
Now everything is an evening with Kevin Smith, but those were special. My friend and I one night got really I downloaded it, and we got really drunk on Zombie, which was like this. It's like this, I don't know, like maybe malt liquor sort of thing. It was like one of those really fruity. It's like super sugary, and we just like sat in my room and like drank it and like just chain smoked cigarettes. And we're laughing our asses off. And then I don't really remember much else about the night. Yeah. I think I blacked out at some point. And then he drove home. And he survived, so we're good. But still, not a solid. I'll tell you this. So real quick. So in about 7 minutes, I'm going to be wrapping this thing up and heading over to Nicotina's The Midnight Run. I'm going to be on there as a special guest tonight, where we're going to be talking about current movie news as well as apparently my YouTube history. Andre has got a whole bunch of questions.
Yes, call him Andre.
I know. I always get like the Nicotina, and I forget his name is Andre. So he's got a bunch of questions for me. He wants to. His pitch was, I want to get to know the real Matt Jarbo. I want to know what $3 Theater is all about. I want to know what your YouTube career has been like. The real you. And I'm like, dude, you're just gonna hear me say fuck like a lot. And like it's funny because I'm cool with it. I think Andre's a really good dude.
Yeah,
and I'm really appreciative of him inviting me on. I just think it's funny. It's funny. He's like, I just want to know more about you. Like, just fucking ask me. I'm pretty. It's like I'm an open book and shit. So anyway, I'm putting the link right now into the chat. You guys can jump over there and check that out. That'd be pretty cool. I think it should only go about an hour maybe. But it will be a good time to, if you guys want to know more about my history, which if you've followed me, you probably already know my fucking history, but hey, it's going on. But
whatever you do, don't subscribe to Nicotine.
Absolutely don't subscribe. We're using reverse psychology. It's totally been proven to work. You don't want to subscribe to that channel.
These aren't the droids you're looking for.
Although you sent him that, the Batfleck symbol, right?
Yes, I did. Yeah.
That looks dope, dude. That looks really dope.
Thanks. Yeah, no, I cut that out. I gave Nerdy one as well. And I made mine behind me. So I made that. Nerdy was like, oh, man, I like that. And I was like, yeah, I made it. It was a shelf. And he was like, oh, yeah, I want that, but not the shelf. I was like, okay, sure. So
fuck your shelf.
Yeah. So luckily I had a template, and so it's just plywood. So I just cut it out and painted it and sent that to him. And I was like, there you go.
Nice. Well, I'm gonna wrap this up right next. I got to go to the
Yeah.
bathroom before we jump on to the next thing. However, I've been sitting here like going, I gotta pee. The older you get, the less of a bladder time you've got, and I'm old. I feel old at least, but it's how it goes. So Zeverfelt here. Tell everyone where they can find you. Zeverfelt, right? Why did I say felt?
Yeah.
I'm tired. I'm sorry.
No, Nicotina always says don't subscribe to Zeverfelt.
Oh,
so
he's been poisoning my mind. That's what's going on here.
Yeah. That was reverse psychology crap.
All right. So where can people find you?
If any of these, any reviewers loved our conversation tonight, which I'm sure everybody did,
we held at about 60 people for like the most part.
I'm down. Let's do this. Check me out at Zeverfet here on YouTube as well as Twitter. We do reviews of movies. We just did a Tenet review that hopefully Matt will check out after he's seen the movie. And
I got a bunch of notifications this morning. I'm like, what the fuck is happening? And it's just like everyone responding to your tweet. I'm like, mute notifications, you fucking dick.
So we shot that review in reverse. So we just for fun, just as a zebra felt. Yeah.
There we go.
But yeah, come and check us out. I do reviews with my son, and we have a lot of fun reviewing The Boys and just whatever's in pop culture and of course anything relating to DC content or Star Wars.
Now, are you going to watch The Boys before going to bed tonight? Because I guess episode 6 just dropped.
It did just drop, but I have to wait for my son because we'll watch it together and then we immediately come and critique. So
because here I just posted the link to yours in the chat there. Yeah, I think I just saw episode 5.
It got weird.
I saw that ending coming. I saw that ending coming. Because I'm like, it's gonna. Yeah, but what I loved was when they had that little moment where Homelander has that daydream.
Yeah.
Right? And I was like, that show is done very well to make me go, oh my God. Like my jaw has dropped quite often in that series.
I was like, I felt bad for her a little bit when he was laser eyeing, her
tits.
Yeah, your tits. Yeah, there you go.
I don't give a fuck here.
Like, gotcha. But so that scene was like, wow, man, they're really going all out on this. I'm interested to find out exactly who she is. If she's the daughter of.
No, I think that's actually.
Really? You think she doesn't age?
Yeah, I think that's what it was. Because like that was the thing. I don't want to spoil if people haven't seen it, but
I'm trying to be,
one of the people who had a conversation with her was like, I know who you are. And then she's like, I rolled with the times. I changed with the times. So right. That line of dialogue was like her saying, it's me. But if you haven't seen The Boys, the fuck are you doing? Go watch it. After you watch Nicotina, Me on Nicotina show. All right. That's going to be popping up here in a sec. Link is also here. You can see it up here underneath Garguts Entertainment, who is a channel member, which if you want to become a channel member, that'd be fucking cool.
Yeah.
No special perks necessarily just yet, but we'll get there. It's like pre-ordering a video game.
Yeah,
right?
I mean, you can always offer those one of those emojis.
I got it. You know what? I got it. Yeah, I got to get an artist to work on the emojis. I need some stuff. I need to grease the wheel a little bit on a few people. I know some people to talk to be honest, but
anyway, number 23 was definitely when he fell off the deep end, and he hasn't resurfaced.
All right. So, Mladen, do you have a YouTube channel?
No, I don't have one, but I'm thinking about making one. Just I will see. Right now, I'm currently practicing editing because that's what I want to
editing.
Do.
What's that?
And certain
non-linear.
That's not something I ever really do.
No. I do have a topic I want to talk about. To express my feelings, which is director we mentioned here, Rian Johnson, and I really get tired of everyone blaming him because I don't think he's that big of a dickhead as they make out to be, because they forget Alec Guinness wanted to punch Star Wars fans if they ever mentioned his role as Obi-Wan.
He was jaded. He didn't want to. He didn't want to talk about that character anymore.
Which I get that because he was old, and he was like, I'm an established actor, right? He's not like not a director.
Kind of like Scorsese saying that these, these other films are not cinema.
Yeah, I get what he's trying to say. He's wrong, but I get what he's trying to say. Anyway, I do have to go because
Nicotina never starts on time.
He's I think he might be. I think he's mad at me right now, so I'm not there yet. So, but all right, guys, head on over to that thing. That thing. I feel bad. No, let me find it again. I don't even know. It's around here somewhere. The link's in the chat. I got to go to the bathroom real bad though. That's why. So thank you guys for coming on. I really appreciate it. We'll have to do this again. It was a fun conversation. I know people wanted to come on to do the live calls. I just was like not really feeling it tonight. I'm sorry, guys. The whole death in the family thing. I didn't really want to manage it. So, yeah, we'll talk again soon. I'll do live calls definitely this weekend. And have a good one, everybody. Peace the fuck out.